annual conference in Las Vegas. Pence said that he now aims to help elect principled Republican leaders. Sam Fritz, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
State regulators holding a public hearing this evening as Indiana-Michigan Power looks for a rate increase. That meeting will be held in South Bend, but I&M serves Hoosiers as far south as Anderson. Snow may be in the cards this week for parts of the state.
Right now it looks like we're going to have a front coming through on Tuesday afternoon and evening, and that likely will bring some scattered light snow showers.
Mike Ryan with the National Weather Service. A 38-27 loss to the New Orleans Saints for the Indianapolis Colts. Quarterback Gardner Minshew still has confidence heading into next Sunday.
I think we clean a few things up, start playing some complimentary football, and we can do everything we want to do still.
The Colts head to Carolina next. Purdue men's basketball coach Matt Painter says that he's happy with the lessons learned by his team in an 81-77 loss to Arkansas in exhibition play Saturday. The Boilers open play for real a week from today against Samford. Traffic on the 5s, Matt Baer.
Yeah, Kurtz, southeast side, crash southbound 465 South Shadeland. And it's on the left shoulder, stopping traffic to Washington Street. Eastbound 70 jams from Harding Street to Meridian, Illinois. That's because of a hazard in the middle of the road, blocking the center lane. Northbound 65 has cleared up. Westbound Fall Creek Parkway crash at Ruckle Street. And that's between College Avenue and Central Avenue. Watch for delays there. Traffic sponsored by Drexel Interiors. Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors. For Timberlake Kitchen and Bath Cabinets, visit Drexel's Design Centers at 146th Street and River Road, or on North Shadeland, online at drexelin.com. I'm Matt Baer with Traffic on the 5s. Follow us on Twitter at WIBC Traffic.
What I was told was bone on bone. I was going to have knee replacement, and I do not like surgery.
Desperate to avoid surgery, Julie decided to check out QC Kinetics non-surgical regenerative treatments.
My daughter actually works in a Chapel Hill, North Carolina lab, and I sent her all of the information that I was given, and she's like, "Oh, Mom, this is for you. I've heard great things about this." She's like, "You need to try it before ever doing surgery."
Julie started the QC Kinetics natural biologic treatments right in the office, using her own healing properties to help restore her damaged tissue.
I know, my daughter was right. Yeah, it's nice when you've got that person you can go to who might have a little bit more information, especially on the science of it. QC Kinetics, it's life-changing.
Find out if you're a good candidate. Call QC Kinetics now for your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 317-559-PAIN. That's 317-559-PAIN. 317-559-PAIN.
The forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
Good morning on this Monday. Scattered showers moving out. We'll see gradual clearing this afternoon, a high of 45. Freeze warning tonight, clear and cold, a low down to 26. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Marcus Bailey for 93 WIBC.
Already chilly out there, 40 degrees and cloudy on Monument Circle. I'm Kurt Darling on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
You're listening to Rob Kendall.
It's an action-packed show today, Casey. Let's go!
And Casey Daniels.
The gang is all back together.
On 93 WIBC.
Good morning. It is Monday, October 30th, 6 minutes after 9. It's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC. Hey, Rob, guess what?
Yes, Casey.
Mike Pence dropped out of the 24 presidential race.
Oh, man, that's a shame. I hate to see that. Who didn't see that one coming?
2% Pence. You know why this happened, don't you?
Because he's totally out of step with the Republican Party. He's completely 100% disingenuous, and people quickly saw through what a complete accomplishmentless hypocrite he's been for basically 20 years.
That, and he didn't qualify for that third debate. So do you think he's trying to save face here?
Of course he is. I mean, look, Mike Pence is going out the way he deserves, on his back, crying uncle, and he couldn't even get to 4% to get on the debate stage.
Mm-hmm.
Look, there was a time where Mike Pence's version of politician was a pathway to success. And that was a decent-looking dude who gave really good speeches and was incredibly disciplined on messaging. However, in the internet age in which people can find each other and regularly correspond with each other, you got to actually produce something. And I will continue to ask this question be it because my favorite part of the weekend was the Gravy Train Brigade and we are talking gallons of tears coming from the Gravy Train Brigade. It is as though the day they, probably the way people were when they found out Elvis died, right? I mean, but this is just the death of Pence's political career. What is the signature accomplishment of Mike Pence? I'm not talking speeches. I'm not talking words. I'm asking in terms of whether you take his time in the United States Congress or as governor. The vice presidential stuff doesn't count because that's all Trump. Mm-hmm. What was the signature accomplishment of Mike Pence?
Was it RFRA?
Right. Just in.
Yeah.
I mean, opting out of Common Core, and then because he's addicted to federal money, taking 90% of Common Core back in the new standards, but it costs the state $100 million. What was it? Voting for all these ill-begotten wars and military conflicts, trillions of dollars in deficit spending in the Congress. What is the signature? There's nothing. There's nothing you look at Mike Pence and go, we're so glad Mike Pence was here because fill in the blank.
Oh, well, Todd Young has something different to say.
Oh, well, sure he does.
He said Mike Pence has been a leading voice in the conservative movement for more than 2 decades. In every role, he's represented our state and nation with optimism and integrity.
What is so by Mike Pence's standard, let's use Pence as the standard bearer. No wonder people want to move on from what they see as modern day conservatism, right? Because if Mike Pence is the standard bearer per the Duke of Spendingburg, no wonder people want something different. Because what is the voting record of Mike Pence? In the U.S. Congress, it was massive growth of government, massive growth of government spending, massive expansion of the military-industrial complex, one terrible choice after another as it related to foreign policy. What was his time as governor? Again, no meaningful tax reform whatsoever, continued expansion of government, multiple national embarrassments. So if Mike Pence is the standard bearer of what people say conservatism is, no wonder there's so many people who are like, we want Trump. Mm-hmm. We want what Trump has to offer. We're for populism or whatever you want to call it, because Mike Pence and the modern day conservative movement, I guess if that is indeed it, and with him as a figurehead, it is a colossal failure.
You said that this would be his last political career. Will it?
Yes. Oh, he's done.
It?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. There's absolutely no way, because if you think about, let's just use Indiana as obviously the landscape. Mm-hmm. I assume he's going to stay living here, at least legally. Well, Jimbo is going to be the senator. I mean, they're going to do everything they can to keep Rust off the ballot. And even if Rust manages to get on the ballot, the odds of him winning with the entire thumb of the Indiana Republican Party on the scale against him are thin. So you're going to have Jim Banks as the senator. You're going to have Spendingburg as the senator. And then next time somebody tries to, Mike Pence is not going to primary Todd Young, and Todd Young essentially can't lose because the system is rigged in his favor. And you know that the next time he runs and he's a senator, there'll be people who will huff and puff and moan and whatever, and then they'll get in the ballot box and go, well, I can't have a Democrat in there. He's not going to obviously run for governor. There's going to be a new Republican governor in there. What path does he have left? I mean, I guess he could challenge whoever comes out of, I think his house is in the 5th congressional district. I could be wrong on that. Maybe it's not. But regardless, what is his path to being in public office? Maybe he could be like a county commissioner somewhere or something.
Not a cabinet position or anything like that, because he would look at that as a demotion. But isn't it interesting that he's getting all of this publicity? It's like the most publicity he's gotten throughout this entire race is the day that he drops out.
But what was his... And this is where we come back to the people I've dubbed the Gravy Train Brigade. Mm-hmm. And these are people who have been around Mike Pence since the earth was young, and they saw him as a meal ticket, and many of them have cashed in over the decades that he's been in public life. They saw a sweet-ass opportunity to have jobs for another, I mean, I think they thought they were going to get to at least New Hampshire, and they convinced this guy to enter into this fool's errand. They convinced this guy, hey, yeah, there's a whole bunch of people out here, Casey, who just hate Trump, and you're the hero because you're the guy who lied on January 4th and then on January 6th did something different, and people are going to love you for that. And he found out the hard way. No, people hate you for that because you on January 4th, Mike Pence, we played the audio a million times on this show, told people in Georgia how concerned he was about the election results. We're going to hear the evidence. We're going to get to the bottom of it. And then he has spent the next 2.5 years acting like he is some sort of national hero because he didn't follow through on what he said on January the 4th.
It's like him and Liz Cheney should team up and do something together.
Absolutely.
Have a sitcom or something.
And he will get a job. I mean, look, he's not going to get a real job that produces for society. So don't think he's going to be running a Kmart or something. Kmart's not even a thing anymore. A Walmart somewhere. Right. Kmart would, if Pence ran something, it would end up the way Kmart ended up. But he's going to end up in a think tank or, writing somewhere or giving speeches somewhere or whatever. But he's done politically. There's no path for him. He is the new Dan Quayle, and good riddance to that garbage.
All right, well, let's listen to him. Here he is dropping out of the 24 presidential race.
I just couldn't sit this one out. But the Bible tells us that there's a time for every purpose under heaven. And traveling across the country over the past 6 months, I came here to say it's become clear to me this is not my time. So after much prayer and deliberation, I have decided to suspend my campaign for president effective today.
Okay. True story, Casey.
Yeah.
This was many years ago. I once, for a very brief period of time, dated a Colts cheerleader. And my concession speech sounded just like that when it became very clear.
This is not my time.
When it became very clear that my wallet did not match the size of the wallet this well-assembled woman was anticipating necessary for the remainder of her days. Can we hear the beginning of that again, Kev? Because this is almost verbatim how my concession speech went.
I just couldn't sit this one out. But the Bible tells us.
Okay.
That's what you said to her. So who stands to gain from Mike Pence dropping out? Nikki Haley? Ron DeSantis? Anybody else?
Well, I think he's going to endorse Haley.
Yeah.
And look, this is the pattern here, though, right? Is that Trump will turn his vengeance on whoever he perceives to be the biggest threat, and he's yet to do that on Nikki Haley. And it's like, people are like, oh my gosh, she's going to endorse Nikki Haley. And it's about, you could combine all the people running against Trump together and they don't equal Trump. Nobody's going to be like, oh, Mike Pence said blah, blah, blah. Nobody cares.
Well, he can't even get 4%.
No, that's the point. It's like,
right?
It is so fascinating how our media lives in its own little world that is totally detached from reality. And in the media's world, somebody who hated Trump's endorsement is going to make all this difference when the polling reality tells you nobody liked this guy anyway because it was Mike Pence's behavior. Mike Pence did this to himself. Nobody held a gun to Mike Pence's head and made him stand on that stage on January 4th in Georgia and tell those people all the concerns he had, and he couldn't wait to hear the objections and blah, blah, blah. Mike Pence has always taken the path of political least resistance, and it finally bit him in the ass.
Yeah,
that's why he's done.
Yeah, it was a high wire. He was trying to do both sides, and it didn't work out for him.
Trump is still beloved by the Republican Party. Trump is still the figurehead of the Republican Party. And look, people like Mike Pence will not do, what do they call that after a campaign when you lose, postmortem or whatever that thing is called, where you kind of review why did we lose. These people are not, like Pence, are not going to do this reflection and go, I was thinking about this driving into work today. You know how we're supposed to care about the feelings of others, and we're supposed to, in a new world, we're supposed to understand others and understand their truth. Nobody seems to understand the truth of the Trump voter. Like, why does the Trump voter feel this way? Why is the Trump voter so detached from the modern Republican Party? Why is the Trump voter so angry at the Republican Party? Why was the Trump voter looking for Trump? And the reality is because they became disaffection. Is that what the word I'm looking for? They became pissed off at the Mike Pence wing of the Republican Party, who for generations promised one thing and never ever delivered on it and kept siding on behalf of bigger government and a government that left the Trump voter behind.
Speaking of Trump, here he is saying goodbye to Mike Pence.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye. Thank you very much for coming. Appreciate it. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Well, have a good day. Bye.
Bye. Bing. Ding. Bye-bye. 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 Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, folks.
It is 18 after 9. It's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
Real quick, I don't mean to hit you with this, but real quick, would it be possible at the top of every hour we can just address Mike Pence not being in the race today?
Absolutely.
I mean, let me have this today, Casey.
It's your day.
Just let me have this today.
You know what? It's your special day.
Thank you very much.
It's 93 WIBC.
Tony Katz.
I alphabetized my soundboard. Well, I'm sorry, I didn't hear that. F?
Fat, drunk, and stupid is no way to go through life, sir.
I have to go to S for Sopranos. Makes sense.
Yeah, I think you got it.
It's so clean now. It's fantastic. Yeah, we have clearly run out of things to talk about. There's nothing else going on in the world.
It's a great world, everything's so.
This show is stupid.
Tony Katz, mornings 6 to 9 on 93 WIBC and WIBC.com.
Who can Carmel trust to keep our city thriving? Sue Finkham is the only one with the plan and experience to do it. Finkham has spent her career growing businesses and advocating for people. And her plan to keep Carmel thriving is simple. Prioritize public safety by hiring, training, and equipping our first responders. Introduce responsible budgeting so every cent spent benefits us. Support local businesses and ensure responsible development that doesn't endanger our community's one-of-a-kind character. Sue Finkham has the plan for Carmel's success. But what about Miles Nelson? What does Nelson care about, and where do his priorities lie? When asked what he has done on the city council to support Carmel police,
I'm really proud of spearheading a resolution to get Carmel carbon neutral by the year 2050.
support the candidate with the plan to ensure Carmel's safety and continued success. On November 7th, vote Sue Finkham for mayor.
Paid for by Sue Finkham Victory Committee.
Looking for a beautiful and functional upgrade to your home this holiday? 3 Day Blinds has you covered. But hurry, most blinds and shades ordered by November 8th can be installed by Thanksgiving. At 3 Day Blinds, our free in-home design consultation makes it easy. A 3 Day Blinds design expert will help you find the window treatment solution that works best for your home's needs and style. We bring the showroom to you with loads of samples, giving you an idea of how different fabrics look in your home. Your designer also provides expert measurements and helps coordinate installation. Book your free in-home consultation by visiting 3dayblinds.com. You'll even find window treatments with Motorized by 3 Day Blinds. Whether you're at home or on vacation, you can operate your window treatments with the touch of a button using the 3 Day Blinds app. 3 Day Blinds is here to solve your window treatment needs for the holidays. But hurry, most blinds and shades ordered by November 8th can be installed by Thanksgiving. For your free custom same-day quote, schedule your free in-home design consultation now at 3dayblinds.com. That's 3dayblinds.com.
1 point, 1 swing, 1 tackle, 1 step. One trusted hospital system for orthopedic care. Franciscan Health's orthopedic, sports medicine, and rehabilitation teams offer state-of-the-art treatments, including total joint replacement, physical therapy, and the latest techniques and interventions for a variety of conditions, including arthritis and orthopedic sports-related injuries, keeping you in step, 1 step at a time. Find a full range of orthopedic care in one place. Go to franciscanhealth.org/orthocare.
At Uline, the prevailing opinion is, if you don't live it, you don't believe it. The people at Uline believe in hard work, and they live it by being there 24/7 to answer your call, having 41,000 items in stock, and offering same-day shipping from 12 locations across North America. Business owners, sellers, buyers, shippers, and packers believe it. Uline is the hard-working, dependable source for your shipping and industrial supplies. Visit uline.com.
What's for dinner? Burgers?
After last week, no thanks.
Avoiding foods due to fear of diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools? It may not be just stomach issues. It could be EPI, or exocrine pancreatic insufficiency. EPI can cause uncomfortable symptoms because it's a condition where the pancreas doesn't release enough digestive enzymes to break down food. But EPI can be managed. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor about your symptoms. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Here's a never-before offer, Indy. Act now before October 31st and get 25% off the 25-year guaranteed protection of Rhino Shield. Restrictions apply.
Rhino Shield. You're listening to Rob Kendall.
I gotta tell you, I can't stand that guy.
And Casey Daniels.
I'm in love, and I don't care who knows it.
On 93 WIBC.
Good morning, 23 minutes after 9. It's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC. Over the weekend, Friends star Matthew Perry died. He was in his Pacific Palisades home. It happened in the afternoon. The LAPD said they received a phone call of a 50-year-old man who was unresponsive. He was apparently found in his jacuzzi. An autopsy is performed, but of course the toxicology results won't be available for a few weeks. It was initially reported that he drowned.
Yeah, and look, who knows what exactly is going to come out with this, but Matthew Perry is a great example of how one serious addiction is, and that addiction doesn't succumb to wealth or influence or your importance in society or perceived importance in society. And he was a guy who for many, many years deeply struggled with a variety of addictions, and a lot of that played out in the public life. He had seemingly, and you never know with people who have addiction issues, but he had seemingly conquered a lot of those demons. He had written about it in a book. I had a guy who I was somewhat close to years ago, who I did some media with, who actually went to the same therapist as Matthew Perry, lived out in Los Angeles or Hollywood. And he said he used to see him come and go, and the dude had some issues, right? And he used to tell the story of, you'd look up and here comes Matthew Perry, which is like we said, and go, oh my gosh, it's not that unusual in that area to see very famous people coming and going, whether it's doctors' offices or counselors.
Maybe shocking in Indiana, but not in California.
Right. So it wasn't like people were starry-eyed. This guy had been in media for years, so it wasn't like he was wowed by that or anything. But he said, this is a guy that very seriously struggled with overcoming things. Now, don't know whether it was related to that. Obviously, he had lived a very rough life, and maybe it finally caught up with him. Look, there are people who are doing the posts about his pro-vaccination stance, right. And who knows whether that played a role in it as well. But I think the couple things with Matthew Perry. Number one is seeing the outpouring from people, clearly the impact he had in a positive way, that show had in a positive way. You hope he knew that, and I'm sure he probably did. But also, if you have an addiction issue or someone who has an addiction issue, do not be ashamed to seek and get help for that, because it affects all sorts of people from all walks of life. And you'd much rather be a person getting help for an addiction issue rather than a person who is no longer with us, probably maybe in large part because of a previous addiction issue. Yeah.
Well, he was definitely comic relief on a touchstone show for an entire generation. Yeah. Many people affected by this. Yeah. And it just reminded me of all of the other young comedians who starred in sitcoms who died young. Yeah. And you think of that list, and it's John Ritter and Andy Kaufman, Dan Hartman, Bob Saget.
Now, Andy, at least with Andy Kaufman, not to say this makes it any better, but he had a very rare form of lung cancer. Like John Ritter obviously died of a heart attack, I believe was fairly young. Phil Hartman was obviously tragically killed by his wife. At least with Andy Kaufman, it was like, wow, what are the odds of this? And the guy has, this terminal, very super rare cancer. But you're right. There are a lot of John Belushi, obviously, is a person. Sam Kinison, Chris Farley. Yep. It is look, Hollywood is a chaotic life. That is a chaotic life, and life on the road for comedians is a chaotic life. And a lot of these people turn to these things because they don't know how to deal with the fame or the fortune or the importance or the responsibility that comes with that.
Or always looking for the next high.
Yeah, you're right.
The next dopamine hit. You always have to keep one-upping yourself to maintain that level. Yeah. So Matthew Perry he went to school with Justin Trudeau, the Prime Minister of Canada.
That's wild.
And here he is telling a story of when he was younger, he actually beat up Justin Trudeau.
Prime Minister of Canada, Justin Trudeau, somebody you went to school with.
I did. I was a couple years ahead of him.
Okay. How old were you at this time?
5th grade, so whatever age you are in 5th grade.
Okay. And do you remember, 10 probably, do you remember him around school?
I do. I have a story about him that I'm not proud of.
What? Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah.
I was reminded of this. My friend Chris Murray, who was also in the 5th grade in Canada, reminded me that we actually beat up Justin Trudeau.
You beat him up?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah. I don't know.
The two of you beat him up?
We both beat him up. And I think he was excelling in a sport that we weren't as... So it was pure jealousy.
I see.
And we beat him up.
And his dad was the Prime Minister of Canada?
His dad was the Prime Minister
at that time, right?
I don't think that's the reason we beat him up. I think he was the only kid in school that we could beat up.
Don't they have Secret Service there protecting the children of their Prime Ministers?
They didn't.
They didn't? No. Wow. Because that would never happen to Barron Trump. You'd be in the stockade right now. You'd be
It's true.
You'd be in Russia somewhere.
Yeah, it's true. But I'm not bragging about this. This is terrible. I was a stupid kid, and I didn't want to beat him up. In fact, I think at one point I tried to turn it into love play.
Well, he is a handsome guy.
Yeah, boy, is he ever.
Yeah.
But I think I was rather instrumental in him going to such great heights and becoming the Prime Minister.
You feel that way?
Yeah, I think it was, I think he said, I'm going to rise above this. And I'm going to become Prime Minister.
I'm going to destroy those two boys.
Yeah, exactly.
Perry and Murray, who
rose
beat
above
me.
both of us,
By the way, did you know that I did not know this, that Keith Morrison, who is the guy from Dateline?
Yeah, is his dad.
The spooky voice guy who does all sorts of, if you've ever watched Dateline NBC, he's kind of the older guy, white hair, always has just a very haunting voice when he's doing the voiceovers for the Dateline NBC crime, hour-long show. That's his stepdad.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
So you could say, I guess, that Matthew Perry was a Nepo kid then, He
was a what?
Runs in the family.
Oh.
Nepotism.
Oh. You're taking a shot at the dead guy here, Casey?
No, I'm just saying that I wonder if
Can't we let the guy rest in peace for a few days before we start the jokes?
Is that how he got his break into
I don't
Hollywood?
know, Casey, but I'm not having any part of this besmirching the dead.
I didn't besmirch him. All he said was, I'm wondering if that's how he got his break into Hollywood. It is Kendall and Casey. It's 93 WIBC.
Life is all about enjoying the little moments. Don't miss out on them because of unexpected heart issues. At Community Health Network, you receive heart care you can trust. From simple screenings to life-saving diagnostic and interventional cardiology services, we offer it all, so you can get back to the moments that matter. Learn more about our services at ecommunity.com/heart. Community Health Network. Exceptional care simply delivered.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level. On the go.
Keeping it up, it's 40 degrees and cloudy on Monument Circle. I'm Kurt Darling. Here's what's trending at 9:30. Airstrikes continue as Israel's offensive against Hamas intensifies. Fox's Jonathan Savage.
An Israeli military spokesman says dozens of Hamas fighters were killed in overnight operations in Gaza. Soldiers and armed vehicles from Israel expanding their operation to destroy the militant group, which killed over 1,400 Israelis in its terrorist attack on October 7th. Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says this is the second stage of their war, but the United Nations warns airstrikes are hitting closer to hospitals used as shelter by tens of thousands of ordinary Palestinians. Jonathan Savage, Fox News.
It may be weeks until the Los Angeles County Medical Examiner releases an official cause of death for Friends star Matthew Perry. Experts say an autopsy was completed Sunday. There are no obvious signs of trauma or foul play. Perry was 54 years old. Now the stock report on 93 WIBC. A good start to the day, end of the week. The Dow was up 306 to 32,724. The Nasdaq up 78 to 12,721, and the S&P 500 is up 31 to 4,148. I'm Kurt Darling, on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
When you hear the name Jefferson Shreve, what do you think of? A candidate for mayor? Sure, he's that. But he's also an original supporter of Donald Trump. Jefferson Shreve has been with Trump from the very beginning, even despite Trump lying over 30,000 times, being accused of sexually assaulting 21 women,
And Jefferson Shreve never condemned January 6th. Shreve even donated thousands of dollars to Trump's election deniers. It's bad enough that Jefferson Shreve got an A rating from the NRA and wants to ban abortion. But Jefferson Shreve and Donald Trump? That's a combination that's bad for Indianapolis.
This is Joe Hogshead, and I'm asking for your vote so we can continue hiring more police, get guns off the street, and invest in programs that keep kids out of trouble. We've overcome a lot in these last few years. I'm grateful for your support so we can get the job done.
Paid for by Hogshead for Indianapolis.
Well-changing question. Are you keeping as much of your investment gains as possible? High taxes can erode returns quickly, so you need a tax-optimized portfolio. At Creative Planning, our money managers and specialists work together to make sure your portfolio and wealth are managed in a tax-efficient manner. It's what you keep that really matters. Why not give your wealth a second look? Book your free meeting today at creativeplanning.com. Creative Planning, a richer way to wealth.
The wish you could smell this ad deal. Because if you could, you'd be smelling McDonald's fries right now. And they smell like McDonald's fries.
Smell the delicious savings for yourself with buy one, get one for $1. Choose from favorites like a McChicken, McDouble, or small fries, and get another for $1. Price and participation may vary. Cannot be combined with any other offer. Valid for product of equal or lesser value.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. What is 988? It's a way forward. It's a listening ear. It's whatever help you need, when you need it. The 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline offers trained crisis specialists ready to talk to you 24/7. If you or someone you love is experiencing a mental health or substance use crisis in their life, call or text 988. Want more information? Visit 988indiana.org.
I was struggling to maintain contact with the professional world.
Dr. Ferner of Indianapolis talks about why he got the new Captel caption phone from Relay Indiana.
When I got the Captel phone, it turned it around.
Go to RelayIndiana.com. That's RelayIndiana.com. And read up on the Captel caption phone.
People that I talk with do not necessarily know that I have this Captel service. It's a piece of cake.
Go to RelayIndiana.com to learn more.
Privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Texting enrolls for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stop, opt out.
Binges, blackouts, regret, shame, trying and failing to drink less or quit. Hi, I'm Jonathan, founder of War Health. I know how scary drinking too much can be because I struggled with alcohol misuse for most of my adult life. But I also know that it is possible to drink less or quit. And medication can help. Naltrexone is a safe, effective medication that makes it easier to cut back or quit drinking, so you don't have to rely on willpower alone. I started War Health to make access to Naltrexone convenient and private, to help people like me regain control over alcohol.
If you're ready to stop drinking or just drink less, text REGAIN to 323232 to get a secure link to Or Health's private online assessment. Our licensed medical professionals will evaluate your assessment, and if medication is right for you, prescribe it online. We'll deliver your prescription right to your door. No doctor's office visits required. Text the word REGAIN to 323232 to get started today. That's REGAIN to 323232.
You're listening to the Kendall and Casey Show on 93 WIBC.
Good morning, 9:36 with Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC. Gavin Newsom went viral over the weekend for being a klutz, and we'll get to the a klutz.
He steamrolled a little boy.
Well, we're going to get to it in just a minute, but first we have some sleuthing to do.
Okay, two things. One, yes, for those of you on the YouTube, again, there is no camera for me today. Weekend guy broke the camera again. We have narrowed it down to about two people because we all know Sweet Terry Stacy and her group never touch nor manipulate the camera. So she's out of the equation. Home and garden people don't.
They're clear.
Manipulate or touch the camera. They're clear. So once again, another weekend and the camera is broke again. And so it is what it is, and you can't even be angry about it anymore. So it's just Casey on the YouTube.
It's just a new surprise every day.
I mean,
keeping you on your toes. That's all.
It is what it is. Okay, so Producer Jonathan joins us now. He is the producer for Tony Katz' morning show. And you told us during the break, Tony never actually cares at all what you do over the weekend.
Not really.
He never asks you. He's never like, hey, man, how was your weekend?
Nope. We just talk about the show. That's about it.
This is teamwork, like your host not caring at all about you. But we care, and we ask you.
Thank you.
Because you're an...
He looks scared, by the way.
Well, Tony can fight with me if he wants to fight with someone, and I'm guessing he won't. So... you're an upstanding citizen. You pay all your taxes. You're a good dude. I went to your wedding, and so I care about what you do over the weekend. And we asked you. We said, "Hey, man, what did you do over the weekend?" And you said, correct me if I'm phrasing this wrong. You went to a drive-by wedding.
Pretty much.
Drive-through wedding.
Drive-through wedding.
Drive-through wedding.
What in the world is a drive-through wedding?
So about a month ago, a couple of mine and my wife's friends, they eloped, and we got an invitation in the mail. Like, hey, we're having a wedding in quotes, and pretty much they're like, show up at our house with your gift, drop it off. We'll have like some finger foods and some drinks.
Yeah.
And then we'll see you on your way.
Wait.
It's like a wedding open house.
So there was no, like when I went to your wedding, there's the ceremony. You said all the nice things to your wife. The minister does the vows. You may kiss your bride. There was none of that.
None of that.
They had already done the thing.
They had already done that.
And basically they sent you an invitation, like you sent me an invitation, and said just show up to our house with a gift.
Pretty much.
Did it say gifts accepted?
They just had a QR code for their Amazon registry. Yeah, we're like, okay, and they're they're really good friends of ours. We see them a pretty decent amount, so we're like,
these are your friends.
Yes. These are our friends.
Okay, so I'm torn on this, Casey, because on one hand, there's a huge part of me that says that's freaking brilliant.
Yes,
because. No offense, and your wedding was lovely, but like half the time is 3/4 of the time.
It's a lot of time and money.
90% of the time is just it's just a lot of waste of time. Right,
ceremony, blah, blah.
Right. And so there's part of me that says you are eliminating 90% of the misery. But then there's also the fact that it's like, it's kind of presumptuous to tell somebody, just bring me a gift.
Bring me a present. Stop on by.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I asked Jonathan, did you get a favor or something like a little baggie to go?
Because there's the part, like there's the speech,
nothing.
Part of the wedding is the best man gives up and gives a speech, or the, father, the bride gives a speech or whatever. And look, usually those are somewhat boring, but it's part of the whole thing. Were you offended as a close friend of this person that you were asked to essentially just, hey, bring me a gift and then get the hell out of my life?
At first I was like, I want to celebrate with these people.
Yeah.
But then I was like, do I really want to give up a fall Saturday?
Yeah.
And I was like,
he'd rather be
I
watching
don't.
football?
That's exactly right. That's exactly right.
Yeah.
And so we stopped by. We were there for 30, 45 minutes. We got to talk to the couple and everything. They were really nice.
Yeah.
But like after those 30 or 45 minutes, we left and we did whatever we wanted to do for the rest of the day. It was really nice.
He was able to acknowledge their nuptials, but then move along.
Where are you at on this? You're the expert here.
I'm kind of liking it a little because they chose to elope, which may have been a financial thing. It's going to help them in the long run.
Sure.
And I think now so many the bridezilla thing got out of control, and so many people focus on the wedding and the ceremony and the dress and the flowers, and don't focus on the actual marriage.
True, but it's not like, okay, so for example, I got married in my backyard.
Yeah.
And it was, here's the ceremony, and it was literally just the very closest of friends and family, and boom, and then we had food for those people, and then, hey, we're out of here. It's one thing to like say, hey, Jonathan is super close friends with these people, and they're going to get married in their backyard, and Jonathan and his wife are going to be there, and then we're going to do a little thing, and then we're going to be out. They're literally just asking you for gifts because you were not invited to the actual, here is the holy matrimony, right?
From my understanding, the eloping was like on a whim. They were just like, we don't want to wait. Let's just go elope.
There's plotting involved in that.
Yes, that raises your eyebrow. Did you ask for proof of the marriage license?
No.
So you don't even know these people got married. They can end up on American Greed.
Right. Maybe this is just a whole scam, and they just wanted to get free stuff.
All right. Well, I heard this, and I wanted you to clarify what exactly was going on. Jonathan, the producer for Tony Katz in the Morning, and we care about what you did over the weekend, even if Tony does not.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Sounds interesting, doesn't it?
Can we talk about Gavin Newsom running over a little child?
He was over in China playing basketball with a group of Chinese students, and while he was running, he It looks to me like one of his loafers slipped on the basketball court.
Oh, no. He went full Shaquille O'Neal circa 2001. He just steamrolls over this little kid and dares the referee to blow the whistle and call a charge. So he does the Harlem Globetrotter thing where he spins the ball on his finger.
Yeah, he was showing off, wasn't he?
And then he and even if he didn't run over the kid, what are you doing? You're taking a 10-year-old to the hoop? The kid's like 5 foot tall and you're whatever, 6 foot whatever. And you are what? Oh, you're going to feel like a tough guy because you're taking some poor Chinese 5th grade student to the hoop?
Yeah, he did. It looked like he was trying to, go do a layup, and he did the bounce behind his back thing. Like he was totally showing off.
I got you.
And it got the best of him is what happened.
Kev, you play basketball on the public courts there in Greenwood. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Do you ever take on small children and then feel better about yourself because you steamrolled a small child on the Greenwood public basketball courts?
No, I mean, I've played pickup with teenagers before, but I don't go hard in the paint, as they say.
Yeah, and these are not even teenagers. These are children.
Yeah, that's worse.
Like, these are not even children who could get into a PG-13 movie if they have those over there. And this is a terrible look. Like, I look at this and I'm like, what a complete a-hole.
Yeah, and he plowed over this kid, and the kid ended up, kind of rolling on him, so he grabbed him, and then he started, spanking his bottom. It looked like maybe he was trying to be playful, but
it was weird.
Thank you.
Yeah.
What is wrong with you that you are in China and you feel the need to go so hard to the hoop that you're steamrolling a kid? Whoever's at fault here. What was the kid playing hand check defense? And that was what are you doing?
Delusions of basketball grandeur. Okay, well, the audio is fantastic, so let's listen to it.
I got you. I mean, look. Whether the kid was in position and it was a charge or he was out of position and it was a block.
Kid was planted.
That is...
He was setting a pick.
That's irrelevant. That's just crazy that he took it that serious, and everyone should totally question his character.
All right, so Rob and I did something fun over the weekend, and we're going to talk about that coming up from 93 WIBC.
Coming up on Tony Katz today, the war in Israel has broken out on college campuses across America. That's happening after the news at noon on 93 WIBC.
Hey, it's Rob. I started losing hair around my crown, and my hairline was starting to recede. I went to We Grow Hair Indy, and they helped grow my hair back. My friend Dave First, a sports broadcaster for over 20 years, also struggled with hair loss. Dave, what happened?
My thinning hair was bothering me. For me, I'm in the public eye. I'm a dad also, and I want to look and feel my best. And if I'm going to do something about my hair, I want to go with the best. We Grow Hair Indy. They really set the standard.
Dave, that's amazing. I had the same procedure, multi-unit hair grafting transplants, which gives you more hair per procedure, saving you time and money. Call 317-522-2995 for your free hair and scalp evaluation. Find out if hair transplants or PRP is right for you.
If you're thinking about this, don't waste your time or money. Go to the experts.
Call 317-522-2995, 522-2995, or visit WeGrowHairIndy.com, the gold standard for hair restoration.
Somebody that I believe is going to be your next senator from the great state of Indiana, which I love so much, Jim Banks.
This is Donald Trump Jr. with an important message. My father and I have both endorsed Jim Banks for the United States Senate. Jim is a pro-Trump conservative, a fighter, and one of President Trump's strongest warriors against the swamp. Jim served our nation overseas in Afghanistan and will always fight to put America first. He's been a leader on securing our border, standing up to China, and ending wokeism in the military. When President Trump is back in the White House, he's going to need proven warriors fighting for the America First agenda in the U.S. Senate. So please support our good friend Jim Banks. America Leadership PAC is responsible for the content of this message, not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. www.americanleadershippac.org.
Garage Doors of Indianapolis has been a local, family-owned and operated business for nearly 50 years and helps keep central Indiana's economy strong by employing over 70 families. Garage Doors of Indianapolis stands by their products and services while they share and embrace our conservative values. So when you have garage door problems, call them today for service today. Garage Doors of Indianapolis, 875-4577, 875-4577, or visit doorstoday.com.
Morgan & Morgan is not only America's largest injury law firm, we're also the only injury law firm in the world with lawyers licensed in all 50 states. With dedicated attorneys focused on personal injury, medical malpractice, insurance disputes, car crashes, employee rights, and many others, we have a 30-year track record of getting results for clients just like you. So wherever you are, whatever you need, our firm is ready to take your call. There's only one Morgan & Morgan.
Get ready, Indiana. It's Medicare annual enrollment period. So why not make enrolling easier with United Healthcare? Whether you choose our online tools or over-the-phone support, United Healthcare will help you compare options so you can choose a plan with confidence. This is Medicare made for Indiana, trusted everywhere. Explore our wide range of plans by calling United Healthcare today at 1-855-MEET-UHC. That's 1-855-MEET-UHC. Annual enrollment begins October 15th and ends December 7th, so call today.
Head to the contest page at WIBC.com this week and register for your chance to win a $100 gift card to 459 Barber Lounge. More info at WIBC.com.
Good morning, 9:49. It's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC. So it was family day for Kendall and Casey at the Colts game yesterday. Too bad they lost. What was that final score?
38-27, I think was the final.
Yeah. At one point, we knew they weren't going to pull it out, and so we left.
Yeah, we held on, though.
We did.
We were mocking the people who left midway through the fourth quarter, and we said, what terrible fans.
Right.
And then,
then we became them.
With about 2 minutes to go. Once that guy caught the 50-yard pass that put him in the red zone, I said, my parlay is dead.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah, we're out of here. We were not even 30 feet from the parking garage when we arrived downtown, and someone yelled, I hate Rob Kendall!
I was wearing my I Love Rob Kendall shirt, and we were recognized. And yes, indeed. And so we had a grand old time. We only made a couple of snide comments about the cost of the stadium while we were there and the cost of the retractable roof that's never open at the stadium. And so by and large, we had a very good time. I still don't know why our boss, David Wood, gave us his tickets.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Gave you the tickets.
And then, yes, good point, Casey. The tickets were given to me, and I, because I think very highly of you, invited you and your husband to go to the game with us.
And I still don't know how that conversation went with you and our boss.
He just literally, you want me to read it to you?
Yeah, I do. Because all I know is you texted me, hey, what are you doing Sunday? And I was like, well, why?
You thought you were like, can I come over and see your baby?
That's what I thought. You were going to be like, well, come see Livy.
Hang on here. I'm going to read you exactly his invitation to me.
Yeah.
Hey, I've got 4 seats in section 401. Oh, that doesn't even say technically they were his tickets.
Oh.
I guess I just assumed they were his tickets. Maybe he got them from someone else.
Right.
For Sunday's game. Would you like them? That was the extent of it.
Yes.
And I said, yes.
Yes,
Of
let's
course
go.
I would.
So I was so shocked because what's the capacity there? About 40,000?
No way. It's like 65,000 people.
65,000 people. And we're walking around, and now you were wearing your I Love Rob Kendall t-shirt, which is a little bit of a context clue. But there were total strangers walking up to you and shaking your hand. They knew who you were. Like, you were like the big rock star there at this Colts game.
And it's 67,000 is what the internet lists. Now, the internet, of course, never lies. So 67,000. Here's the thing, Casey, and I'm always blown away by this, and I'm very confused about this because on one hand, we are told how no one listens to the show.
Right.
And, the people down the street from us always tell us no one listens. And yet, as you pointed out, at the Colts game, there were voluminous amounts of people coming up and wanting to engage and say things, and most of them very kind and nice. And so it's so weird how people would know that that's me if no one listens. I don't know.
I kept my distance a little. I didn't know how mouthy you planned on getting at the game.
Oh, I'm very well behaved in society. I've managed for many, many years to enter into society and not get in any sort of engagements or entanglements that would involve me spending an evening in the Marion County Jail. And so I do very well in person.
So luckily we did not get on the kiss cam.
Well, I was sitting next to my wife, Casey.
I know.
So if I had,
I know, but wouldn't that have been because at one point you and I were sitting next to each other and our significant others were on the wings, and I thought, oh boy, here comes the kiss cam.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. No. Here's the thing. To win those free, was it lottery tickets?
Yeah, $500 or something.
Oh, for those $500, I would have laid it right on you, sister. By the way, can I just say,
what?
On the kiss cam,
they
gave the one guy literally got up and gave his, I don't know, wife, girlfriend, whatever it was, a lap dance and a huge smooch, and they didn't give it to him.
Yeah.
Who's going to out-kiss that?
Well, and then there was the couple that kissed their beer instead of each other.
I don't know if they were on a work thing or what the deal was.
But again,
with that.
more creative than the people who actually won. You were pretty tickled that Taylor Swift was booed.
Yes!
It was a Jumbotron cheer exercise where cheer for this, boo for this, cheer for this, boo for this, and the audience kind of participated and decides, and Taylor Swift came up and the whole stadium booed.
The biggest boos, even taxes was an option. Mm-hmm. The biggest boos were for Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce. Which was awesome.
Yeah.
Just simply awesome, Casey, that was the biggest boos of the afternoon were for Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce.
I really like the when they do the horsepower.
Yeah.
And it sounds like an engine.
Yeah.
I thought that was really cool. And the third down,
yeah.
I was getting into that. And I realized something. I have only been to 3 NFL games in my life.
Yep.
All 3 have been with the Colts.
How exciting.
So apparently I'm a fan.
You are. Real quick, if I might have just a moment, I want to thank our audience for something.
Yeah.
On Friday, it was the grand finale of the Breeders' Crown Challenge that we've talked about. And this was the charity challenge where various local, air quote, celebrities here, because it was people like me and JMV, who they dubbed celebrities, lended whatever it is, our names to various local charities, and we did a variety of challenges. Harrah's, the big casino there in Anderson, was kind of the sponsor on all this and the point person on all this to raise money for local charities. And our charity, Helping Veterans and Families, won the event. $84,000 to help local veterans.
Amazing.
Yeah, it was great. And our audience was a big part of that because part of this was sharing and liking various social media posts. So we want to say thank you to everyone who participated in that. It's going to help a lot of great local veterans. And it's amazing we won, Casey.
$84,000 is a lot of good money for that charity.
And I just can't believe we won because no one listens to our show.
Congratulations on your win. But like you said, thanks to our listeners. It's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC. Good morning.
Hi, my name is Deb Whitfield, and I currently serve as a member of the Lawrence Common Council. I'm here to tell you a little bit about my friend, Maggie A. Lewis. Since being elected, Leader Lewis has introduced laws that are improving the quality of life for my family and yours. From adding more police officers to protect our families, prioritizing road improvements and infrastructure, to preparing our children for long-term success, Leader Lewis has been making a difference in our community. That's why on Election Day, November 7th, make sure you re-elect Majority Leader Maggie A. Lewis to the Indianapolis City County Council. We need leaders who can get the job done, and Maggie has a proven track record. She is a leader who is prepared, experienced, dedicated, and a friend in our community.
Hi, I'm Maggie Lewis. Your vote does make a difference. Paid for and authorized by Maggie Lewis Campaign. Peter O'Coffer, Treasurer.
My little brother's friends have been camped out at our place for 2 days straight. 3. It's because of the Xfinity 10G network. Internet that can handle a house full of screens at once, with basically no interruptions. And it's only getting faster. When I was their age, internet like this was a pipe dream.
You sound like my grandpa.
Please go home.
The next generation 10G network only from Xfinity. The future starts now. Now through November 15th, new customers can get 75 megabit internet on the next generation Xfinity 10G network for just $20 a month for 12 months with no annual contract. Go to Xfinity.com/10G, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store today. Requires paperless billing and auto pay with stored bank account. Restrictions apply. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra. After promo, regular rates apply to internet service. Actual speeds vary.
And Doug. With Liberty Mutual, you can customize and save hundreds on your car insurance. But what to buy with those savings? Yep, I bought a sound effects machine.
Only pay for what you need at LibertyMutual.com. Savings may vary. Underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company and affiliates. Excludes Massachusetts.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
This is Lisa Schmitz, and I'm running for Indianapolis City County Council District 17. I have lived on the west side of Indy for almost 30 years and have worked in human resources for some amazing transformational companies like the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, Galleons, and then as Vice President of Human Resources for a division of Napa Auto Parts, leading over 800 employees. Now I want to serve you, Indianapolis. Vote Lisa Schmitz on November 7th.
Paid for by the Schmitz for Indy campaign.
CareSource Marketplace health plans are reliable and predictable. That's important because your life plans are not. CareSource gives you the affordable coverage and premium network to take on whatever comes your way. Emergency services, hospital care, prescriptions, and more. Our plans are simple and affordable because when your life is complicated, it's important that your health insurance is not. For affordable coverage when you need it most, visit caresource.com/marketplace. We got you.
Hi, Dr. Ron Paul here. The Fed creates and pops bubbles using interest rate manipulation. Why put the value of your IRA or 401k at their mercy? This is why I recommend a physical gold IRA from Birch Gold Group. To get a free info kit from Birch Gold, text the word SHELTER to 989898. That's SHELTER to 989898. Do it now and protect your savings.
Coming up in 2 minutes, shootings and a few killed throughout Indiana over the weekend, plus where one of your lawmakers stands on U.S. support for Israel. And it's cold today, so what may be in store for Indiana as early as tomorrow? I'm Kurt Darling. That and more coming up from the Peterman Brothers Heating, Plumbing, and Electrical Studios after Fox News. You're listening to 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 10 o'clock.
He leads in the polls. Can he be blocked from the ballot? I'm Chris Foster. Fox News. Arguments start today in a Colorado case about whether former President Trump should even be allowed in the 2024 presidential race. Fox's Tanya J. Powers.
The bench trial, expected to last about a week, is being held to determine whether the 14th Amendment's insurrectionist ban applies to former President Donald Trump, and argues that he is disqualified from serving as president again because of his role in the January 6, 2021 Capitol riot. The lawsuit was filed last month by 6 Republican and unaffiliated Colorado voters with the backing of a liberal watchdog group.
In Washington, D.C., after a review, the judge in Trump's federal election conspiracy case reimposes her gag order regarding the former president's public comments about it. He calls the ban on his speech totally unconstitutional. There are multiple reports. The auto workers' strike is over, with a tentative deal now reached with General Motors, the last of the big 3 automakers without a deal. Hamas terrorists have released a video purporting to be of 3 women taken hostage during the terrorist attacks in Israel October 7th. There are ongoing talks to have more hostages freed.
Fox News has learned that a high-level Israeli official in coordination with the United States visited Doha on Saturday to meet with Qatari negotiators. The discussion focused around the hostages and how to further those talks to get more hostages released.
Fox's Trey Yingst in southern Israel. It's the start of the work week in Lewiston, Maine. Tens of thousands of people were kept home during a 2-day manhunt for a mass shooting suspect who was found dead Friday. 18 people died in the shooting last Wednesday, including a 42-year-old father of 5, Arthur Stroud. His father, Arthur, on Fox and Friends.
He was a goof and tough, and he was just a great kid.
There was a candlelight vigil in Lewiston last night. Hundreds of people packing a church with hundreds more outside watching on a big screen. America's listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level. On the go.
How young they were. It's 39 and cloudy on Monument Circle. I'm Kirk Darling. Here's what's trending at 10:02. 6 of the 10 people shot at a Halloween party in Indianapolis late Saturday night were under the age of 18. That's according to police, who say that the shooting happened around midnight near 65th and Binford.
The city is really in a public safety crisis.
Reverend Charles Harrison with the Indy 10-Point Coalition on Wish TV.
And what's troubling is the shooters are getting younger and younger.
He says parents need to do a better job in raising their kids. One lawmaker from Indiana is opposing the resolution for the U.S. to stand with Israel against Hamas. Congressman Andre Carson, a Democrat, voted against the measure last week. House Resolution 771 still passed. Only 10 lawmakers, including Carson, voted against it. Some Hoosiers could be paying more to heat their homes. Ryan Hedrick explains about Indiana-Michigan Power.
Indiana-Michigan Power is proposing another rate increase, and they're justifying it by promising fewer outages and better technologies. The proposed change would increase the average user's bill to about $3 a month. There would be another increase in 2025. State regulators must approve the increase, and customers have a chance to discuss it at a public forum tonight in South Bend at Century Plaza. Ryan Hedrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
334 the average for unleaded gas in Indiana today, says Gas Buddy. Snow may be in the cards for this week for parts of the state.
Right now it looks like we're going to have a front coming through on Tuesday afternoon and evening, and that likely will bring some scattered light snow showers.
Mike Ryan with the National Weather Service says flurries are most likely in northern Indiana. Despite a loss to Arkansas in exhibition play on Saturday, Purdue head men's basketball coach Matt Painter says he's happy with the lessons learned by his team. Purdue is number 3 in the nation in the preseason AP Top 25. They open play for real, though, on November 6th against Samford. I'm Kirk Darling, on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Hi, this is Denny Smith, and sometimes the scariest things aren't always in the crawl space or basement. Many times they're the dirt and stains in our carpets, but that's a whole lot easier to handle with Zero Res. Fall's the time of year when everybody tracks in so much crud, and vacuuming can only do so much. When you combine that with an extended allergy season, it's time to call Zero Res. Here's the good news. You can get online in seconds for quick and easy scheduling focused on you. Their background-checked and certified technicians take care of things usually in 2 to 3 hours, and your floors dry quickly because they use the patented ZR water that cleans with no soap, no residue, no harsh chemicals. Zero Res gets all the yuck out for a fresh fall cleaning. Now mention WIBC and get 3 rooms of carpet cleaned starting at $149. Plus, you'll get a free hallway and $50 off air duct cleaning, too. That's right, air duct cleaning, and it'll help improve the air quality in your home, help reduce your energy costs, and just help you breathe easier. Schedule your appointment online at zeroresindy.com.
You're listening to Rob Kendall.
It's an action-packed show today, Casey. Let's go!
And Casey Daniels.
The gang is all back together.
On 93 WIBC.
Good morning. It is Monday, October 30th, 5 minutes after 10. It's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC. He's an honorable man and a conservative leader who makes Indiana proud. I wish him well in his next endeavor. We wish him well in his next endeavor.
Isn't that's always the email?
Mm-hmm.
So
when somebody leaves the job, much success in your future endeavors.
My favorite thing, and this is not quite the case under our new ownership as it was our old ownership.
Mm-hmm.
There were 2 types of emails when someone left.
One was Rob Kendall is no longer with the company, and one is Rob Kendall is moving on. We wish him well in his future endeavors. And by the way that email is written, you can tell what went down.
Yeah, and they always end if it was like some sort of if it was by force rather than choice. It was it was very brief. And I've never understood, Casey, you've been in management. I owned a radio station, but it was not like near the size of this sort of company or the one before us. Why do you even have to send an email, period? Because it seems like almost everyone gets
the word.
Gets the email.
Yeah.
Why?
All you have to do is just tell one person and it'll spread pretty quickly, right?
I mean, even whether it is the glowing, oh my gosh, he's going to save children in the Ukraine versus no longer with the company. His last day is fill in the blank. Like what?
Well,
why
I think that the no longer with the company, that's a security thing. Obviously, if you end it on bad terms, you don't want to somebody who doesn't know that they're no longer with the company letting them in on a weekend.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Okay.
But if it's a happy trails, we're gonna miss you. I think that's just being, transparent with the fellow coworkers.
I've just always wondered why there's always an email.
Well, you got to let people know one way or the other.
But I don't know 90% of the people that aren't here anymore. Like, I don't know them. Freda Jones, her last day will be October 31st.
Didn't know her when she was here.
Never even met Freda.
Best of luck.
We always joke, too, about the people who take the PTO and they'll announce it to everyone.
To everybody, in case you need me.
I've never, ever met Doug Johnson. I don't know him. Doesn't work in the same sphere as me. I don't even know if we've got mutual coworkers. But I need to know Doug will not be back until November the 3rd. Why?
Just in case you need him. He wants you to know.
Shouldn't you just put the thing on your email? Because if I'm going to talk to Doug, here's the email. Doug could have the auto response. Why do I need to know? Why?
Of course, we're talking about Mike Pence, who
his auto response is Mike Pence is no longer running for president.
Check back with me later, right? Jim Banks said it's time for Republicans to unite and do everything we can to win back the White House in 24 to save our great country.
Yeah.
But yet he called Mike Pence an honorable man.
Well, sure he did.
So where does this leave us now?
Well, it leaves Mike Pence without a job.
With a dwindling field.
And it leaves... No, Casey, let me have this for a minute.
Okay.
You can have the rest of the show. Let me have this.
No, go for it.
It leaves Mike Pence exactly where he deserved to be, on his back, without any viable path to make terrible public policy going forward. And Mike Pence is not going to make it to Iowa because people viewed Mike Pence as a very disingenuous person who spoke out of both sides of his mouth, depending on what room he was in. We've played many times the audio on January the 4th where he's telling the people in Georgia, hey, yeah, there's all sorts of concerns, and we're going to get to the bottom of this, and we're going to hear those concerns. And then he has spent the past 2.5 years acting as though he is some sort of person who should have a monument constructed to him in Washington because he did the exact opposite of what he promised to do on January the 4th.
He's playing both sides, isn't he? He's trying to be the victim and then also the leader.
Well, and this is because Pence has always been kind of the anointed one. And I will tell you this. I mean, look, I first met Mike Pence this was probably April of 2011. So this was before I had been in any sort of public office, any of these other things. They had asked me, they said, hey, we see you're running for this public office and we know you're going to win and you're going to be the guy. And so we are very interested in what you're doing. Believe it or not, Casey, I had a website when I was running for public office and I said some pretty interesting things on said website. Some might even say they were highly inflammatory. Imagine that. And they said, well, we think you're very interesting and we believe you're going to win. And so Mike is probably going to be running for governor. And so we'd be interested in having you meet Mike and see if you guys are, simpatico and maybe you can help out with the campaign. And I will tell you this. I met him at a hotel near the airport. There was me and like 3 or 4 other people who they were also looking at. And all I knew from Mike Pence at the time was what you had seen on TV. I'd never been involved in the government before. I knew none of the things I know now. I knew, no idea what to look for, how to decipher the bull crap from the reality. And the guy is, and probably to this day remains, incredibly charming and charismatic in person. And you meet him and you're like, wow, oh my gosh, this guy is incredible. He is the guy. He's the blah, blah, blah. And there's a very famous photo of Mike and I together on that day that many people have seen over the years. But it's all crap. Like, I'm sorry. The guy is like, he should be on an episode of American Greed because he is, while he's not done anything illegal, he's basically the same elixir salesman, only it's politics rather than finances that the people are on American Greed. The substance never matched the rhetoric. And in the case of January 6th, Mike Pence was put in a position where he was not in control. And he's not used to being in that position. So Mike Pence had to decide, right? Like January 4th, You're in front of this crowd in Georgia, and you know what they want to hear. And so, by default, because Pence is a grifter, he chose the path of least resistance, which was, I'm going to say what these people want to hear here. Now, the problem is then he gets back into his comfort zone, which is Washington, D.C. and the establishment, and he believes, well, hey, the most politically expedient thing to do is not only not do the things that I promised to do just 2 days before, but then double down on what a victim I am and what a terrible guy Trump is. Casey, did he or did he not?
Change his tune.
Yeah, did he? On January 4th, he says, I stand with Donald Trump.
Yeah.
Well, everybody knew what Trump was asking for on January 6th by January 4th. It wasn't like this thing came out of left field, and people saw through that, and they saw you stand for nothing, and this is why he's done.
A lack of conviction.
Yeah.
What do we think, though, of Jim Banks's tweet saying Mike Pence is an honorable man and a conservative leader who makes Indiana proud?
Well, Jimbo's another one of these guys, right?
But he's a big Trump guy. You know, he's been endorsed by Trump, and he's endorsed Trump, so why is he saying that? This is just boilerplate, right? This is just, he's saying it because this is what you say. Good luck in your future endeavors.
Casey, I know that people can't see me right now on the YouTube feed. Let me make sure. No, people cannot see me on the YouTube feed, but you can. So you tell the people. Am I or am I not looking into the camera right now? I'm totally looking into the camera. So let me be. I'm being as serious as I possibly can here. Jim Banks is another grifter. And this is the overwhelming problem in our society, which is why nothing gets done. You're right. How could you possibly square Donald Trump with Mike Pence? But yet to Jim Banks, who has proven he will do whatever needs to be done to elevate himself, i.e., voting for Kevin McCarthy 15 times and then voting to save Kevin McCarthy, yet lamenting all the stuff that Kevin McCarthy is doing, Jim Banks knows in Indiana, the politically expedient thing amongst the establishment, which Jim is now in bed with because he's been endorsed by Holcomb and Hupfer Incorporated, is to say, oh, what a great guy, Mike Pence. Oh, Mike Pence, a conservative leader. Oh, Mike Pence, the world is better off for Mike Pence having been involved. No, it's not. Mike Pence did nothing of any consequence in the U.S. House. He did nothing of consequence as governor. He was just another guy cashing a check and taking up space.
Okay, well, let's hear from a couple of the people who were at one point running against Mike Pence to try to become president. We'll start with Vivek Ramaswamy. He says that Pence dropping out of the race is a service to the American people.
I think that he is doing a service to the American people by making a focused debate about who actually leads this country forward. So whoever you're in the press, don't misquote that as some backhanded neg on Pence. It's not.
Oh.
I think that's an honorable decision. Is what I mean that in a true sense. That's an honorable decision. And I think that it is one that maybe certain others in this race should also consider.
It's honorable for him to leave because he was losing so badly.
What the hell did he just say, Casey?
Yeah, I don't get that either. He's saying that it's honorable that if you're losing the game by that much, you just walk off the field. Like yesterday, the Colts game, right? At the end, when it was pretty clear that they weren't going to win, would it have been honorable for the whole team to say, well, we're not going to win this one. We might as well just go to the locker room.
Well, and again, it comes back to, and there are a lot of people who are very sad today who have made a lot of money off Mike Pence over the years, who gave him terrible advice. They gave him terrible advice because it was beneficial to them. And instead of being honest with him and going, look, Mike, the reality is you made a choice. You picked a lane. It was the wrong lane to pick. There is no path in the Republican Party, especially when you figure out, hey, you already have the de facto counter choice in DeSantis running. There's nothing here for you. The majority of Americans that are Republican primary voters overwhelmingly stand with Donald Trump. They think you made a bad choice on January 6th, and they are especially angry about your doubling, tripling, quadrupling down over the past 2 years that you're not only made the right choice, but you're some sort of noble hero in all of this. And so the best thing for you to do, you've got a book deal, you probably get speaking engagements, just go do that. And hey, maybe in 4 years if Trump doesn't win, then maybe there's a path. Now, not only has there's no path for him because he did so terribly this time.
Chris Christie also said that Pence made the right decision by dropping out.
Look, I think in the end, it just means this race is narrowing, which everyone said that it would. Never goes as fast as some folks would like. but it is narrowing. It'll narrow more, I suspect, when we get to the debate stage in Miami. And I'm going to be ready to take on Donald Trump when people actually do start to vote in New Hampshire in particular.
Now, here's another guy who probably should take the lead from Mike Pence and do a little dropping out himself. I mean, I think they're all starting to see the writing on the wall here. It seems to me there are 3 viable candidates at this point.
Yeah, you're right, Casey. And I thought Tim Scott was going to be one of those people. He clearly is not, and he should probably join the good time fun gang and get out. But you're right. You've got DeSantis, you've got Nikki Haley, you've got Trump.
Yeah.
And
then the other people who are hoping for a cabinet position.
If you've been running for 5 or 6 months for president and you're still at 3-4%, it's not happening for you. And just get out of the way. But as long as you have money to keep campaigning, why would you quit? Because it's still
an ego boost.
Well, sure. Is anybody going to care about Chris Christie the moment he is no longer has a platform to say mean things about Donald Trump? No. So he's going to milk this to New Hampshire because, well, why wouldn't he? He still has the money to keep going, and he gets on CNN and MSNBC and the rest of the places. So why would he quit?
He wouldn't. He's not so far, unless he wants to be honorable. It is 18 after 10. It's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
We feel.
Do you feel like we do? Feel it as soon as you step out the door.
What you feel.
Bundle up. Feels like winter.
It's going to be more like summertime.
Do you feel like we do?
All the feels.
It feels a little like winter.
Feels more like summer.
Of fall.
It's kind of the clash of 2 seasons.
Weather. When you need it.
The ebbs and flows this time of the year is so evident.
On your official fall weather station. 93 WIBC.
Who can Carmel trust to keep our city thriving? Sue Finkham is the only one with the plan and experience to do it. Finkham has spent her career growing businesses and advocating for people. And her plan to keep Carmel thriving is simple. Prioritize public safety by hiring, training, and equipping our first responders. Introduce responsible budgeting so every cent spent benefits us. Support local businesses and ensure responsible development that doesn't endanger our community's one-of-a-kind character. Sue Finkham has the plan for Carmel's success. But what about Miles Nelson? What does Nelson care about, and where do his priorities lie? When asked what he has done on the city council to support Carmel police,
I'm really proud of spearheading a resolution to get Carmel carbon neutral by the year 2050.
Support the candidate with the plan to ensure Carmel's safety and continued success. On November 7th, vote Sue Finkham for mayor.
Paid for by Sue Finkham Victory Committee.
At Simply Safe, our 24/7 lifeguard protection helps stop crime in real time. Because during a break-in, every second counts. And these days, every dollar counts. Right now, get 45% off any new system with Fast Protect monitoring at simplysafe.com/radio. It's U.S. News and World Report's best home security of 2023. Advanced home security, 24/7 professional monitoring for less than $1 a day. There's no safe like Simply Safe.
When a car crashes into the side or rear of an 18-wheeler and slides under the tractor trailer, the consequences can be deadly. Injured in an underride wreck with a big truck? Attorney Daryl Isaacs is ready to win for you.
Just click to get help quick at WeWin.com.
A lot of schools talk about training the cybersecurity workforce of the future, but do they really deliver? My Computer Career has been supplying the IT workforce with thousands of skilled, certified pros for 15 years. Train with the experts in support, networking, or cybersecurity and start your career in months, not years. Upskill even faster. On campus or live online, qualified students may get financial aid, including the GI Bill. My Computer Career. Accredited, acclaimed, effective. Take the free career evaluation at mycomputercareer.edu.
Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors for Timberlake Kitchen and Bath Cabinets. Visit Drexel's new design center on 146th Street at River Road or on North Shadeland. DrexelIN.com.
You're listening to Rob Kendall.
How can you listen to this wacko?
And Casey Daniels.
Yeah. Yeah, baby.
On 93 WIBC.
It is 21 minutes after 10. It's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC. So the weather is turning cold. There might have to be some alterations made to some trick-or-treat outfits.
Yeah.
A couple layers. Put that coat on over that costume. That always ruins it, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's...
You work so
you're
long.
cheating at that point.
Work so long to get the perfect costume together, and then mom makes you put a coat on over it.
Wait a minute. What do you mean you work so long? I mean, don't you just buy the costume at the Costumes R Us store? I mean, I know back in the 50s when you were a kid, they really had a lot of the handmade costumes, but I don't think that takes place anymore.
Back when you were a junior producer. Yeah, but there's still, the time and the research. You got to figure out what you want to be. There's so many options.
Oh, yeah.
Your beautiful wife and I were talking about that this weekend because she asked about the Halloween and the costumes.
Yeah.
And we both agreed everything is sexy now, right?
Yeah.
Sexy nurse.
Yeah.
Sexy doctor, sexy witch, sexy whatever.
What's your problem? Would you like to badmouth America again, Casey? You're on
okay
quite a
with
roll
it.
today.
Okay
What's the problem here?
Okay, so for the second year in a row, we're seeing some double-digit inflation in the candy aisle. Gum and prices are up an average of 13% this month compared to last October.
Okay, so you told me, and I could not believe this, and your husband was in huge defense of this, that you are actually going to hand out candy. He is going to hand out candy.
He might want
Will
to.
he be wearing a flak jacket?
I know, right? Well,
He was totally dismissive of the danger of him opening the door for random strangers in your
strangers. And I was surprised because he bought a bag of candy, and I was like, well, that's great. Did you get ones that we like? Because we're the ones who are going to eat it.
Yeah.
Because I'm in favor of just the lights out. That's the universal symbol, right?
Yeah, right.
For trick-or-treating.
Yeah.
If the light's out, you don't go knock on that door.
Right.
Yeah, you just move along. So I don't know what he's thinking, but it'll be lights out for me.
Why would he do that?
I don't know. Are you going to pass out candy? I know Hammer has a lot of strong feelings about this.
Well, so I'm going back and forth on this because I don't remember. Were you here or was it the other blonde lady when I tried to do everybody just take a piece of candy at the door, and then the guy took all the candy, and I was going to try to. The kid stole the candy, and I saw him do it in real time, and I was running in the street to track him down. And then my wife was like, "You're going to get in trouble if you chase this kid down." And I was like, "But he stole all the other kids' candy." She's like, "It doesn't matter. You are Rob Kendall. How is that going to play out in the Indy Star? That if you track this kid down and take it back from him?"
Yeah, that's probably not a good idea.
So
but you were trying to use the honor system,
well,
right?
I was because it was. Look.
I can't use the honor system. I have packages delivered from Amazon that are stolen.
And this is, if you can't have the honor system in Brownsburg, you're not going to have the honor system where you live. And so this is the problem I got because I was trying to follow government rules. Remember Dr. Bach's gynecologist? Remember her? She was the health commissioner.
Yeah.
Now she got COVID a whole bunch of times despite being quadruple vaccinated and boosted and following all of her own protocols. I'm sure. Oh, except for that time she went to her son's wedding and she told everybody to wear a mask and then she wasn't wearing a mask. But that's old hat, Casey. And we were told by Holcomb it would not serve Hoosiers well to answer that, so we'll just move on from that. But I tried to follow her rules, which is just put the candy out in the basket and not be around the children to not spread the COVID.
Sure.
And all the candy got stolen from the other kids. So this is where I'm torn. I can't be answering the door every 10 seconds because it's going to drive Olivia crazy and Bruce crazy. And yet we are so trustworthy now thanks to the, unchecked growth that they have created in the beautiful little utopia I used to live in on the west side that you can't trust the kids now either. So I don't know what to do, Casey. What do I do? I want to help the children. I want to do something nice for the kids, but you can't trust the kids. I'm not going to disrupt my whole life for these kids ringing the doorbell with my dog and my baby. And
you could sit out there with the bowl of candy.
Casey.
Put your coat on and sit out there.
And then I could lecture the kids on politics.
Because that's what they want. They want the treat. You'd be giving them the trick.
So 2 years ago,
you're taking Halloween trick-or-treating as an opportunity to educate them.
You know what I think I'm going to do? You know what? Now that we thought this through, I think this is going to be brilliant. Because
you're so fun.
So 3 years ago, during the election, I put a sign on the candy bowl that said, "If your parents are a Trump/Rainwater voter, take two. And if you're a Biden/Holcomb voter, take one. Time you kids learn about taxes." And I ended up on the Townie Chatterboard, actually, in a fit of rage from some parent, which was my whole goal in all of that. And everybody knew whose house it was. Here's what I'm thinking this year. somehow we got to tie this into the swimming pool to educate the kids on how much it's going to cost them for the swimming pool.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe I'll name Lord Travis High Ruler of the town of Brownsburg so the kids know that they're only getting one piece of candy this year because Travis is going to cost me so much money.
And that's why.
And his deceptive behavior. I don't know. So maybe let's think this through for tomorrow. I'll come up with an answer because tomorrow is Halloween, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. I'll think this through. Figure out what we come up with.
Yeah. Another reason why candy is so expensive right now is because cocoa prices are trading at a 44-year high. Yeah.
Huh.
So who knew chocolate was so expensive right now? It's 27 after 10. It's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
When you hear the name Jefferson Shreve, what do you think of? A candidate for mayor? Sure, he's that. But he's also an original supporter of Donald Trump. Jefferson Shreve has been with Trump from the very beginning, even despite Trump lying over 30,000 times, being accused of sexually assaulting 21 women. And Jefferson Shreve never condemned January 6th. Shreve even donated thousands of dollars to Trump's election deniers. It's bad enough that Jefferson Shreve got an A rating from the NRA and wants to ban abortion. But Jefferson Shreve and Donald Trump? That's a combination that's bad for Indianapolis.
This is Joe Hogshead, and I'm asking for your vote so we can continue hiring more police, get guns off the street, and invest in programs that keep kids out of trouble. We've overcome a lot in these last few years. I'm grateful for your support so we can get the job done.
Paid for by Hogshead for Indianapolis.
I'm getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20.
So am I, because I'm at risk for pneumococcal pneumonia.
If you're 19 or older with chronic conditions like asthma, diabetes, COPD, or heart disease, or are 65 or older, you are at increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about Prevnar 20, pneumococcal 20-valent conjugate vaccine. It can help protect you against pneumococcal pneumonia in just one dose. Even if you've already been vaccinated with other pneumonia vaccines, Prevnar 20 may help provide added protection. Prevnar 20 is approved for adults to help prevent infections from 20 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia. Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you've had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. Adults with weakened immune systems may have a lower response to the vaccine. Side effects include pain and swelling at the injection site, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138 or visit Prevnar20.com.
What is 988?
It's a free 24-hour suicide and crisis lifeline.
And what is a crisis?
Maybe something you experience so often.
You don't even think it's a crisis.
Anxiety over money.
A stressful relationship.
Concerns about a loved one's mental health.
If you are experiencing thoughts of suicide or mental health or substance use crisis, call or text 988.
It's a listening ear.
And it's a way forward.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level. On the go.
It's over. It's 39 and cloudy downtown. I'm Kurt Darling. Here's what's trending at 10:30. The UAW strike has come to an end. The union reached a tentative deal with GM that puts an end to negotiations after the strike began more than 6 weeks ago. GM is the last of Detroit's big three automakers to reach a deal with the UAW, which reached an agreement with Stellantis over the weekend and with Ford earlier last week. It's also unlikely that you'll ever be able to be forced to wear a COVID mask on an airplane again. The Senate has passed an amendment to a spending bill that bans federal funds from being used to enforce face covering mandates on airlines, trains, and buses.
We've learned a lot of lessons as a result of the politicalization of science and the mixed messages that people got during the pandemic.
Senator John Cornyn of Texas, who voted for the amendment, called it a victory for personal freedom. The Arizona Diamondbacks will be hosting its first World Series game since 2001 tonight. The D-backs and the Texas Rangers will be meeting in Game 3 of the Fall Classic in Phoenix. The best-of-7 series is tied up at 1 game apiece after the teams split the first 2 games in Texas. I'm Kurt Darling, on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Every year, millions of people find a health plan at healthcare.gov during open enrollment. They enjoy more doctor visits, pick up prescriptions, and find the care they need. With the new law, 4 out of 5 customers can find a plan for $10 a month or less with financial help. Enroll by December 15th for coverage starting January 1st. Healthcare.gov is here for millions like you, paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
You're listening to the Kendall and Casey Show on 93 WIBC. It's time to hear from you. Kendall and Casey present Voicemails. Brought to you by QC Kinetics for non-surgical regenerative medicine treatments at 317-559-PAIN.
What the hell is that?
Kevin getting creative.
Yeah, just trying something new.
Making a new intro for our voicemails.
It's not a permanent thing, right?
I just wanted to try it out and, see how it goes.
All right.
And we'll make a game time decision when we need to.
Thank you.
I can tell by your face you're not a huge fan.
Well, part of the show is things that I like, and I'm a big Rupert Holmes fan.
I know.
And where else are we going to hear Answering Machine? It's not like it's ever played on the radio.
To be fair, we have been using Call Me by Blondie a lot.
No, it's fine. I just want to make sure it's not like a permanent thing.
I just wanted to add the official voice over it.
That's okay.
WIBC guy's voice.
You got to experiment in all facets of life, Kev. You gotta just step out on a limb sometimes, and as Bruce Springsteen once said, "Walk with me out on the wire." And you gotta take that walk.
You gotta break up the routine a little bit.
Yeah, you do. Yeah.
I think he was gambling a little, and he
it's fine.
Got craps.
No, it's fine. Now that I know it's not a permanent thing, I just had a momentary panic there because I was worried it was a permanent thing, and as long as I know it's not a permanent thing,
I wonder what the audience thinks about the theme music.
You know what's funny is we chuckle about this, but we are as invested in Kevin's going, I wonder if the audience's life is going to be altered. The people in Congress and in the politics actually think, with the speaker debate, we must be here or the people will be so disappointed. The things we laugh about here, they actually think.
The phone number is 317-684-8444. That hasn't changed. If you'd like to contribute, play along with your voicemail. Okay, so let's get to this first phone call. Did you hear Mike Pence dropped out of the presidential race?
What?
Yeah, he did.
No way.
Over the weekend, somebody called and had something to say about that.
Now that Mike Pence has fallen out of withdrawn from the race for the president, are we still going to hear any more stories about him while you were working with him in the state government? Or since he's dropped out, are you going to drop off the earth as far as the stories about him? Because I really enjoyed him, and I was really hoping to hear some more.
Well, we are here for our listeners.
Well,
Rob.
that's the point. And, it's crazy because, again, I'm told by the Pence people no one listens. And, it's apparently people are listening and they enjoy the stories. This is why the people down the street hate me so much, Casey, and by default you, because you're associated with
Through
me.
association.
Because I tell the stories, I experienced this stuff. And there's nothing I want out of it. There's nothing I am trying to obtain out of it. This is the job I wanted. This is the job I always wanted. I have no desire to go anywhere else. I was a kid. This is where I wanted to work. I'm not gunning for a job anywhere. I'm not mad or personally bitter. I'm pissed off for the taxpayers. And for about 10 years, I sat on these stories and said, I'm going to someday have a platform to be able to tell people about this. Never thought it would be here, but sure. Yeah, we'll keep them going. And look, here is the overarching theme of my experience with Mike Pence. And it was very disappointing for me because, look, I went in working at the behest to state government, the behest of other people. I wasn't like, oh my gosh, I really can't wait to go work for state government. And part of the reason I went in, which was the state auditor's office, was because I believed in, it was still when I was naive to all this, I believed in Mike Pence. I believed in the speeches. I believed that he was going to be this transformational figure, Casey. And, well, if I could get a chance to help with that, then sure, let's do it. I didn't go to them. The government came to me. And at every single turn, I experienced with Mike Pence, and more importantly, the people around Mike Pence, not people who are interested in helping the taxpayer first, not people who are interested in following through on the things Mike Pence talked about in his speeches, but rather people who were more interested, and in many cases completely interested, in protecting Mike Pence because he was the meal ticket. And so they were essentially protecting themselves. And Pence is getting his comeuppance. He's getting the end he deserved. And if from time to time he rears his ugly head back up into society, then maybe we'll have an applicable story. But the parting words on this is it was a guy who was more interested in the elevation of himself, and the people around him were more interested in the elevation of him, rather than doing the hard work that would have actually elevated him. Mike Pence could have been a transformational figure. Mike Pence could have been a guy who we are talking today about as a frontrunner for the Republican nomination for president, if he had just done the things that he professed to want to do in his speeches. But at his core, he was a guy more interested in playing governor, or a guy more interested in playing congressman, and the bravado and the entourage and the advance ops and the field workers and all the stuff that came with it. Mike Pence, when he showed up somewhere, he needed you to know that he was there. He needed you to know that it was a big deal he was there. Compared to a Mitch Daniels, and I've got all sorts of criticisms of Daniels, but one thing you will say about Daniels is he was not about the pomp and circumstance. He was about going where he wanted to go, doing the thing he wanted to do, trying to do what he thought was right or best or whatever, and then going on his merry way. And that's why Mitch Daniels largely remains a beloved figure, and Mike Pence, even in Republican circles, in many cases in the state, is a failure and despised.
That's what I picked up on during the debates, is every time Mike Pence was about to speak, he waited until the audience got very quiet, like he was going to say the most prophetic thing ever. Because, it wasn't always.
Because he was always treated like that. And look, I say this, before I knew what was going on, I was guilty of that. Because I am telling you right now, Casey, when you meet Mike Pence in person, you are ready to storm the Bastille for that guy, because he is charismatic and he is a great speaker and he is personable, and you like feel all the stuff when you meet Pence in person. And look, it's if you want to see what Mike is, I think the Keel Brothers Oil Company is the absolute best example of that. What Mike and Greggy did with that little Keel Brothers Oil Company, where they are investors or owners or runners of this company, and it fails. And instead of manning up and saying, this has failed, I've got to do what's right, they just left state taxpayers holding the bag for millions in environmental damage, cleanup, et cetera. There's been many articles written about it. The many people were not paid back the monies that they were owed. And then they're just like, well, see ya. I'm going to go be a congressman and I'm going to go be the governor. And it's just like, what? That's not the things you people preach.
Yeah. He's more interested in governance to himself rather than service to the people.
So Mike Pence is now just a stooge. He's done. He has no chance to move forward. If he ever rears his ugly head again, then we'll start talking more about what Mike Pence is. And I'll just leave it with this, and then we'll be done, okay? And we don't have to do it top of next hour. Mike Pence lied to the people of Indiana. And there's nothing Mike Pence or the Gravy Train Brigade Squad is going to be able to refute with this, because they know everything I'm telling you, because I was there, Casey, and I saw it in real time, and I have all the stuff written down because I could not believe what I was seeing in real time. They can't refute it. That's why they'll never come in here and refute it. They'll badmouth me to the end, but they can't refute it. Mike Pence appointed a guy state auditor for political reasons who had no business being the state auditor. And Mike Pence and his people were told by multiple people, this guy has no business being in this position. They appointed him for political reasons, which maybe Mikey will man up someday and tell people why he did that. The guy was a disaster, as they were told he was going to be a disaster. They didn't vet him. The state party didn't vet him. And then they found a bunch of stuff that offended Mike Pence because he didn't do his job. So instead of manning up and telling the people of the state, I screwed up, I'm asking on this guy to resign so we can appoint somebody who is competent in managing the finances, et cetera, of the state of Indiana, he strong-arms the guy into resigning in his office. As I was told later, he almost literally put the pen in the guy's hand to get him to resign. So naturally, if the guy's only been there 3 months, the media's like, well, why did this guy resign? Mike Pence went out the next day, and instead of saying, I told him to resign because I screwed up and the guy shouldn't have been there and I'm sorry and I'll fix it, he looked the entire state of Indiana in the eye and goes, I have no idea why he resigned. That's a personal matter. You'll have to ask him. And I watched that unfold from the shadows and said, this guy is a pathological liar, and everything he says is complete bullcrap. Now, I dare Mike Pence or Karen Pence or Greggy Pence or any of the Good Time Fun Gang or the Gravy Train Brigade to come on this show and refute anything I just told you. They can't because it happened.
All right. It is Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC. Good morning.
Hammer and Nigel show, 3 o'clock this afternoon. It's Halloween Eve. It's Monday Gun Day, and it's Moonshine Monday. We got a lot of stuff going on. We're going to solve all of the world's problems 3 to 7, 93 WIBC.
Hey, we're going to talk about some Galaxy Concrete Coating reviews. John said, great company to work with. I had a very positive experience as they were very timely and completed the job in 1 day as promised. Bob said, they did our screen porch and patio and did a fantastic job. Great workers, great product. Danny said, I did my garage floor and patio in the summer. Absolutely loved the job that was done. Hey, what's your review going to sound like when you call Galaxy Concrete Coatings? Their chip system offers stylish, durable floor options in a variety of patterns and colors. Galaxy Concrete Coatings, 317-751-9070. They're online, galaxyconcretecoatings.com.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Texting enrolls for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stop, opt out.
Binges, blackouts, regret, shame, trying and failing, to drink less or quit. Hi, I'm Jonathan, founder of Or Health. I know how scary drinking too much can be because I struggled with alcohol misuse for most of my adult life. But I also know that it is possible to drink less or quit. And medication can help. Naltrexone is a safe, effective medication that makes it easier to cut back or quit drinking, so you don't have to rely on willpower alone. I started Or Health to make access to naltrexone convenient and private, to help people like me regain control over alcohol.
If you're ready to stop drinking or just drink less, text REGAIN to 323232 to get a secure link to Or Health's private online assessment. Our licensed medical professionals will evaluate your assessment, and if medication is right for you, prescribe it online. We'll deliver your prescription right to your door. No doctor's office visits required. Text the word REGAIN to 323232 to get started today. That's REGAIN to 323232.
Paid for by John Rust for U.S. Senate. Next year, Indiana Republicans will have the choice to pick our next U.S. Senator. But if it's up to Mitch McConnell and the D.C. swamp, we'll have no choice. The Washington elite and political insiders are trying to rig this election for their hand-picked career politician ally, Jim Banks. That's why conservative businessman and Indiana farmer John Rust has stepped up to fight for us. As a lifelong conservative, John believes we need an outsider's voice that's focused on Hoosiers. John Rust is committed to fighting the woke liberal mob, defending seniors by protecting Social Security, and creating an economy that works for middle-class families, not DC insiders. While Jim Banks and Mitch McConnell are focused on keeping power for themselves, John Rust is focused on putting Indiana first. Career politicians like Jim Banks are always talking about solving problems. But we can trust businessmen like John Rust to actually get the job done.
I'm U.S. Senate candidate John Rust, and I approve this message.
Looking for a beautiful and functional upgrade to your home this holiday? 3-Day Blinds has you covered. But hurry, most blinds and shades ordered by November 8th can be installed by Thanksgiving. At 3-Day Blinds, our free in-home design consultation makes it easy. A 3-Day Blinds design expert will help you find the window treatment solution that works best for your home's needs and style. We bring the showroom to you with loads of samples, giving you an idea of how different fabrics look in your home. Your designer also provides expert measurements and helps coordinate installation. Book your free in-home consultation by visiting 3dayblinds.com. You'll even find window treatments with Motorized by 3-Day Blinds. Whether you're at home or on vacation, you can operate your window treatments with the touch of a button using the 3-Day Blinds app. 3-Day Blinds is here to solve your window treatment needs for the holidays. But hurry, most blinds and shades ordered by November 8th can be installed by Thanksgiving. For your free custom same-day quote, schedule your free in-home design consultation now at 3dayblinds.com. That's 3dayblinds.com.
Where do you feel the pain, guys? Look, sometimes you're getting older, you feel it in the knees or the hips, the shoulder, the back, but you don't have to let it sideline you. And if it is, talk to the professionals at QC Kinetics. Tony Katz here, and QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in regenerative medicine, restoring and repairing damaged joint tissue. Surgery is not your only option. Take a breath, take a beat, and talk to QC Kinetics first. With demand so strong, QC Kinetics has added Saturday appointments right here in the Indianapolis Indianapolis area. Do you have arthritic pain or pain from an injury? Call QC Kinetics. Don't just live with it. That's crazy. No drugs, no downtime, no surgery. Call QC Kinetics for a free consultation. QC Kinetics. It's in Eagle Creek, in Greenwood, and now in Carmel with those Saturday hours at all 3 locations. Call 317-559-PAIN. 317-559-PAIN. QC Kinetics. Eagle Creek, Greenwood, and now in Carmel. 317-559-PAIN.
There's no better way to start your morning than a delicious breakfast bagel from McDonald's. Topped with a fluffy egg, melty cheese, and your choice of Applewood smoked bacon, perfectly seasoned sausage, or a tender steak patty with grilled onions. Pair your favorite, like a steak, egg, and cheese bagel with a cup of premium roast hot coffee. The perfect morning pair, making one tasty breakfast. Seize your morning with 20% off orders of $5 or more, only in the app. Offer valid through 12/31/23 at participating McDonald's. Valid one time per day, excludes tax. App download and registration required.
The latest local news, commentary from Tony Katz, Kendall and Casey,
5.6%.
Hammer and Nigel,
Biden.
podcasts. Listen to the station live, whenever, wherever, online at WIBC.com.
Well, I don't know why I came here tonight.
Good morning, 1047. It's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC. Hammer's in the studio. You got a big week, don't you, fella?
So I will not be here tomorrow.
Where are you going to be?
Give us all of the
stuff.
details.
I've got butt stuff tomorrow. First colonoscopy is tomorrow.
That's right. You're of the age,
yes,
where they suggest you start doing that, and obviously, any person that is of that age should strongly consult their trained medical professional on when they should get that.
And I'm going to do it. And I really don't know what to expect, because if movies have taught me anything,
Moon River,
I'm going to walk in there. They're going to tell me bend over a table. Dr. Conrad Murray's going to come out and give me some propofol. Hopefully he knows the right amount this time. Somebody will snap on a rubber glove, whisper in my ear, "It's going to be okay." And next thing you know, they're wrist deep.
Yeah, you're not going to know anything that's going on. They're going to put you to sleep far before any of that.
The worst part is the preparation, the actual thing itself. My dad has had them several times. Obviously, I always take him, and it's just the worst part is just the prepper. You got to drink the slime, right?
Oh, we've got the old Jones Kool-Aid at home.
Nothing
in
red,
the fridge.
nothing red or blue.
Right. So we've got the Gatorade mixed with the potion.
Yep.
It's in the 8-ounce individual Gatorade things in the fridge. And I'm basically doing Century Club this evening tonight when I get home.
You're gonna see. Too bad you didn't do your weigh-in on tomorrow, Tuesday, because you'd be in prime position.
But here's the thing, though. Like, I knew I would have this coming up, so I ate like a hoss this weekend. I was on the road. I was up at Purdue. Like, I wasn't trying to have a salad if I'm on a road trip. So you just ate like just a hoss, knowing that I'm going to be doing Crap Fest 23 later on tonight.
What time is your appointment tomorrow? Is it in the morning?
11:30.
Yeah. Ooh, okay.
Yeah, the earlier you can get it, the better, because then you get out of there and you can go eat and all that good stuff.
Yeah. So. You're going to be waking up in the middle of the night to drink some more, aren't you?
Trick or treat to me. Halloween.
Okay. Where are you at with passing out candy to the kids? Casey and I had a spirited debate earlier about.
I think he's all in.
You're all in.
I am, and I've kind of done a 180 on something as I've gotten older, and maybe it's because I live in Marion County. So I used to be the kind of guy when I was younger that would see somebody come up with no costume, a little older, and just trick or treat, and I think, man, you're not putting any effort into it. But now, because of the situation in Marion County, I'm thinking, well, he's not out selling fentanyl. He's not out killing somebody. The fact that he's here, just maybe this is the only meal this kid's going to have is the candy I give him. Here, knock yourself out, kid.
Because as Casey and I talked about, I'm torn on this because I tried to do what Dr. Bach's gynecologist told me to do a couple of years ago and just put the candy in the bowl and tell somebody to take one piece. And then I saw in real time the kid take all the candy. I tried to chase him down in the street. My wife stopped me. Now I've got the baby and I've got the dog. And so I don't want to disrupt the baby and the dog, which means I'd have to do that to answer the door. But I can't trust the kids to take the candy if I just leave it out. So what is a person to do?
I told him to sit out there with the candy and have a conversation with every trick-or-treater.
Lecture the kids on local government.
You love that. Like, why wouldn't you do that? Like, I can see you doing that when it's not Halloween. Like I can see you doing that on like August 15th. Candy, come by for a conversation.
Like Kramer when he's Serenity down.
Right.
Hey, we have to point out something you posted, and I think this is the greatest thing in the history of Twitter. You can see it at Hammer and Nigel. And it is the photo of some guy. Who is this? Is this a celebrity?
Just a stock photo of somebody passed out.
Yeah, he's got a bottle of, what is this here? It's a liquor of some sort and an empty glass, and he's passed out with his face on the table, and you simply captioned it, "I am responsible because I happen to be the mayor."
If you know, you know. If you've heard the election commercials or if you live in Indy, if you know, you know. It's on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Hammer and Nigel.
Oh my gosh, it's so funny. I laugh every time I'm looking at it right now, and it's just great.
It's funny because it could have been real. That could have been the reaction that the incumbent had when the city was burning and stores were being looted out and people were being killed.
Yeah, so like there's a world where somebody's trying to wake him up and he just goes, "I am responsible because I happen to be the mayor." Sir, the city's being burned to the ground. The CVS is being looted.
I am the liquor. Isn't this race just awful? I'll be happy when it's done because, people are still giving us crap, Rob, that we're pointing out that this mayor's race in Indy is a race between a giant douche and a turd sandwich. And it's not our fault that these are the candidates.
Right.
Like last year, I supported the bejesus out of Cindy Carrasco. I thought she would have been such a better prosecutor in this county than Ryan Mears would have been. And she lost 60 to 40%. That's kind of the breakdown of Democrats to Republicans in the county.
Yep.
Hogsett feels like he's a little less likable than Mears even, which I don't know how that happens. But
yeah, you guys are getting beat up pretty good. Leave Jefferson Shreve alone.
And the thing is, it's a lot of these, and Rob, these are your people. These young libertarian people who complain to us all the time. You're the voice of the libertarian. I'm blaming you for it. They complain all the time. Well, how come you don't have candidate Billy Bob Smith on? Because, because that sounds like really riveting radio.
Because they want these city county council people on, and you just rip them right back, and I'll give the floor to you on why you don't have the city. We try to be nice and promote local government, but you're right. For the most part, they're not very entertaining.
No. Our job is to do a show. We want to inform you. We want to entertain you. We're doing a show. Billy Bob Smith, the Republican or the Libertarian that's polling at 5% in a heavy blue district, is probably going to be an awful interview, and it's not worth our time. We'll talk about it, but Nigel and I are entertaining. Billy Bob Smith is not. And all of these trolls that go down the same checklist, right? Fake profile picture, not their real name.
12 followers.
Right. All of them, this little cult of super over the top libertarians, win something or shut up.
And then their win, and I love this because then obviously you can't see it, is you probably do what is probably the right thing, and I need to do this more often. You block them, and then they post the screenshot of you blocking them as though they've won something for them and their 12 followers.
Right. I would never post that I've been blocked by somebody because it just shows you've been a habitual pain in the ass. I'm blocked from some local sports guy in the city. I'm not going to mention his name. Apparently, he doesn't like my politics, and that's okay. I'm not going to put that out there and brag. I can't believe it. It's not the win you think it is when you brag about being blocked.
Did I tell you that there's somebody who we both know very well who works in this building who's been on this show before, who was on this show, and they had blocked me? And I think they had forgotten they had blocked me. And I just...
Are you unblocked now?
I think they eventually figured it out, and I guess they were probably hoping I hadn't figured it out. Because at one point, we tried to tag them in a tweet that they were on the show, and it's like this person's not showing up.
You can't.
I'll tell you off air who it was.
Yeah, because I'm trying to figure it out.
I know who it is.
Now, there's somebody in this building who, I've got beef with after he couldn't control himself. Well, when it comes to politics, I just can't control myself. Big, fat, freaking man, baby. So And I went to management about it, and I was like, hey, this dude who is in a management position is trolling our listeners. This isn't good for business. Why don't you talk to him? Rob, how did that go?
Yeah, he told you that he just couldn't contain himself when he's talking politics.
Because you were outside my office.
Yeah, and it's like, you're involved in giving people guidance. Hope a Republican never shows up looking for personal help.
Don't come to the fourth floor anymore. What's coming up this afternoon?
Oh, what is today? It's Monday, which means it's Moonshine Monday. I'm on a liquid diet, so I can still participate.
Fantastic. Thanks, Hammer. It's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
Hi, my name is Karen Morrell, and I'm a member of Tabernacle Presbyterian Church. I've been blessed to have many role models guiding me on my faith journey. I've always wanted to serve and help others, and Tab makes this easy by offering many outreach opportunities in our community. This has helped me find a purpose to use my God-given gifts to help others grow and thrive. Through worship, Bible study, serving meals, tutoring, and women's ministries, I've connected with others and received a sense of belonging and purpose. Tab is a place where you can connect and serve. I'm Karen Morrell, and I invite you to come and see for yourself.
Tabernacle Presbyterian Church, 34th Street and Central Avenue in Indianapolis, invites you to worship Sunday morning at 8 or 10 a.m. If you can't make it in person, tune in to Sunday with Tab, Sunday mornings at 6:30 on WIBC, or find us online at tabpres.org.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Texting enrolls for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stop, opt out.
Binges, blackouts, regret, shame, trying and failing to drink less or quit. Hi, I'm Jonathan, founder of Our Health. I know how scary drinking too much can be because I struggled with alcohol misuse for most of my adult life. But I also know that it is possible to drink less or quit. And medication can help. Naltrexone is a safe, effective medication that makes it easier to cut back or quit drinking, so you don't have to rely on willpower alone. I started Our Health to make access to naltrexone convenient and private to help people like me regain control over alcohol.
If you're ready to stop drinking or just drink less, text REGAIN to 323232 to get a secure link to Our Health's private online assessment. Our licensed medical professionals will evaluate your assessment, and if medication is right for you, prescribe it online. We'll deliver your prescription right to your door. No doctor's office visits required. Text the word REGAIN to 323232 to get started today. That's REGAIN to 323232.
After a big dinner, my nighttime heartburn would keep me up. I'd be taking antacid after antacid all night long. But then I tried Prilosec OTC. Just one pill a day blocks my frequent heartburn for a full 24 hours, giving me one-and-done heartburn relief. Without heartburn keeping me up, I could have a restful night's sleep.
Prilosec OTC. One pill a day, 24 hours, zero heartburn.
It's possible while taking Prilosec OTC. Use as directed for 14 days to treat frequent heartburn, not for immediate relief.
Hey, there's a well cleaning special now at C&J. Preventive maintenance work. So call C&J at 317-852-WELL or cjforwater.com.
Coming up in 2 minutes, lots of shootings throughout Indiana over the weekend, one in particular here in Indianapolis. Plus, in South Bend, the protesters continue. And who's coming to Ruoff Music Center? That and more coming up from the Peterman Brothers Heating, Plumbing, and Electrical Studios. You're listening to 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 11 o'clock.
The auto workers' strike is over. I'm Chris Foster, Fox News. The union has now reached a deal with all of the big three automakers targeted with strikes that started 6 weeks ago. Fox's Jeff Manasso.
Ford last week, Stellantis this weekend, and now General Motors, too, reaching a tentative deal with the UAW in a strike that was costing the automaker more than $400 million per week. GM coming to the table less than 48 hours after the union widened its strike, with some 4,000 workers walking off the job at GM's Spring Hill, Tennessee assembly plant.
The deals will last 4 years and 8 months, including wage increases through raises and cost of living adjustments of more than 30% over the life of the contract. President Biden issues and speaks later today about an executive order on artificial intelligence.
It requires developers of AI systems to share safety results with the government and orders the Commerce Department to develop guidance for content authentication, like watermarking AI-generated content. Much of the executive order relies on the Defense Production Act, but the administration says more action is required, and officials will work with Congress on bipartisan AI legislation. At the White House, Jared Halpern, Fox News.
A judge in Colorado is hearing arguments about whether Donald Trump should be declared ineligible to be president again because of the anti-insurrection clause in the 14th Amendment to the Constitution. A group of 6 Republican and unaffiliated voters sued, arguing the former president violated his oath of office by trying to overturn the 2020 election results.
They want a court order blocking the Colorado Secretary of State from putting the former president's name on the GOP primary and general election ballots. The judge says she expects to rule on it by Thanksgiving, which would allow time for the appeals process. Tanya J. Powers, Fox News.
And former President Trump leads Ron DeSantis and Nikki Haley by 27 points in Iowa in a new NBC News Des Moines Register Mediacom survey. Haley's up 10 points since August. America's listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Who needs support? It's 37 and cloudy downtown. I'm Kurt Darling. Here's what's trending at 11:02. 10 people shot in Indianapolis late Saturday night, 6 of them teenagers.
Our children need us. And this tonight is another example of why it's important for us to have conversations with our youth.
IMPD officer Simone Burris, one of the 6 teenagers, was a girl who was killed. It was one of a few shootings throughout the state that happened over the weekend. In Evansville, a woman is alive after being shot by another woman, say police. The cops are looking for that woman now. A 12-year-old boy was also shot and killed in South Bend late Friday night. Also in South Bend, pro-Palestinian protesters demanding an end to bombing campaigns by Israeli forces in the Middle East. Israel continuing its fight against Hamas militants, and it's a war that's entered its 3rd week. The group also clashed with pro-Israel protesters.
Free Palestine from Hamas. Speak up.
Still, the 2 demonstrations remained peaceful. If you're a customer with Indiana-Michigan Power, you could be asked to pay more to heat your home.
I'm Ryan Hedrick. The utility wants to increase your monthly bill by nearly $3 a month. The rates would go up again in 2025. They say the increase would boost revenues by almost 7%. Customers will have a chance to address their concerns tonight at a public meeting at the Century Center in South Bend. Ryan Hedrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
The Indiana Pacers look to make it 3 straight wins to start the season tonight. They face the Chicago Bulls at home. Tip off at 7 o'clock. Coming to Ruoff Music Center next year. Creed is coming to Noblesville as part of their first North American tour in over a decade. Joining them for the show will be 3 Doors Down and Finger 11. I'm Kurt Darling, on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Hey, it's Rob. I started losing hair around my crown and my hairline was starting to recede. I went to We Grow Hair Indy and they helped grow my hair back. My friend Dave First, a sports broadcaster for over 20 years, also struggled with hair loss. Dave, what happened?
My thinning hair was bothering me. For me, I'm in the public eye. I'm a dad also, and I want to look and feel my best. And if I'm going to do something about my hair, I want to go with the best. We Grow Hair Indy. They really set the standard.
Dave, that's amazing. I had the same procedure, multi-unit hair grafting transplants, which gives you more hair per procedure, saving you time and money. Call 317-522-2995 for your free hair and scalp evaluation. Find out if hair transplants or PRP is right for you.
If you're thinking about this, don't waste your time or money. Go to the experts.
Call 317-522-2995, 522-2995, or visit WeGrowHairIndy.com, the gold standard for hair restoration.
Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors for Timberlake Kitchen and Bath Cabinets. Visit Drexel's new design center on 146th Street at River Road or on North Shadeland. DrexelIN.com.
You're listening to Rob Kendall.
It's an action-packed show today, Casey. Let's go!
And Casey Daniels.
The gang is all back together.
On 93 WIBC.
Good morning. It is Monday, October 30th, 5 minutes after 11. It's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC. Well, we have spent A little bit of time talking about Mike Pence this morning because, he
gone.
He dropped out of the presidential race. You know who's still in it?
Everyone else.
Yeah, well, Donald Trump. And boy, it's like he's on tour, He spent his weekend in Iowa. He was also in Las Vegas. I feel like, I wonder if he went to the Sphere while he was out in Las Vegas,
I've told you, my wife is totally obsessed with the Sphere. So the Sphere, if you haven't heard, is this $2.5 billion concert venue. And the outside of it is all LED lights. There's something like 540,000 LED lights, and they can make the Sphere whatever they want it to be. And one of the things they're using it for is marketing and advertising purposes. You can actually buy time on the Sphere, and it'll put your message up. But the default of the Sphere is this little sun-looking type character.
Yeah.
It's a bright yellow ball, and it's got eyes, and it moves around. And my wife is obsessed with. She wants to go back to Las Vegas just to see this thing. And
I want to see a concert there. I think it would be amazing.
No, she doesn't want to go in. She just wants to look at the sun. The little guy that moves the eyes around. I'm like, you can just see it on the internet for free.
Yeah, I was going to say they probably have some sort of live cam she could pull up and just watch it online.
Noah, who is learning from Kevin. By the way, Kev, are you leaving us? Like, what is going on? There's a different person in here every day learning how to do this show with you.
I'm just taking some time off later this month.
Oh, okay.
And next month. So we're just trying to train some people.
Very
to fill
worried
in.
Maybe you were going into the abyss or something.
No,
okay.
There's just a lot of new hires, and just got to train some
Noah,
people.
who is learning from Kev today, he just went to a big shindig out there in Vegas. He said he saw the Sphere flying into Vegas. I mean, that's kind of creepy, right? Like you're flying in, and there's this big
huge
yellow ball with eyes that moves looking at you.
Yeah. Don't you think Donald Trump could pack it? And how incredible would that be to have him in the middle of that?
Well, I don't know. How big is the actual Sphere itself? Like, I mean, how many
seats?
How many people does it hold? Let's see. If only there were some way at my fingertips I could look information up and have the entire world at my beck and call. Let's see here. Sphere
capacity.
Eight. Okay. What do you think it is?
Well, I heard you saying 8. So what is that? 80,000?
No, it's not that big. No, not even close.
Well, I don't know how big it is. I haven't seen it in person.
18,000 people.
Oh, okay.
So I don't think I don't think Trump could do 18,000 people. I mean, Trump could do like.
You don't think he could?
No way. So like having gone to, let's see, 1, 2, 3, I think 4. I think I've been to 4 of the Trump events. 5. Southport might have been 5. Anyway, Trump can easily do, like, if you're at the Coliseum at the fairgrounds. Trump could fill that place. That's whatever that is, 4,000 or 5,000 people, depending on how the staging is set up, et cetera. Trump can do that, no problem. They'd be really pressed, unless it's like the Republican.
You don't think he could do 3 times that?
No, I don't.
Fill the Sphere?
It's the same thing each time, though, Casey. It's not that entertaining anymore. Like, originally it was fun, but now it's just the same.
Same message?
It's just the same.
He's been talking a lot about foreign policy recently. And that's what he was doing. When he was in Iowa, he actually he messed up, and he said he was in Sioux Falls instead of Sioux City.
You ever done that where you
welcome to the stage?
All those concerts you've been to, you used to introduce people on stage quite a bit, didn't you?
Yes, I never messed up a city. I did mess up a band once.
No. I'm saying, did you ever see a band? Because the modus operandi for rock stations is to have the hot blonde disc jockey chick get up and bring the band on stage.
Right.
So I imagine you did that many times.
Yeah.
Did you ever see a band get, like, it would have been South Bend for you, or Michigan,
Lansing,
Michigan, East Lansing. Did you ever have a band get the city wrong?
No.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. Not that I know of. But like I said, I've misintroduced a band.
Oh, really?
Well,
like you said, it was Green Day, and it was really...
No, it was Joan Jett, and I forgot the Blackhearts.
Oh, she was angry?
Oh, yes.
Really?
Made me go back out on stage.
But what? No, wait, time out. Whatever we have to say about Trump is not as important as this. What? What are you even saying? So you said, was this in South Bend?
No, it was in Michigan.
Okay, so you said, ladies and gentlemen, Joan Jett.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's correct.
And then I got off the stage, and she was supposed to go on, and she, you forgot the
she refused to go on the stage?
Yes.
What?
And told me I forgot the Blackhearts, and oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. And she said, go do it again. And you know what? I did.
So instead of just simply being a professional and going, Hey, it's so good to see you tonight, East Lansing. And ladies and gentlemen, don't forget the greatest damn house band in all the land, the Blackhearts, or, whatever. She decided she was going to big time you.
Yeah. I think she felt like I was, sliding her band. And it wasn't that at all. I just
You froze.
Yeah, no, I didn't even know that I was supposed to include the Blackhearts.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't
that is pretty bad.
I
mean, I think it's universally it's Joan Jett, and it's like Bruce Springsteen and the E Street Band.
Well, if you were going to introduce Bruce Springsteen, would you know to say
yes?
Okay, well, see,
yeah, you got to give props to the backing band.
I mean, you do. And so it was a. I'm not going to say this is like a crisis point failure on your part. I mean, it was a pretty major faux pas, but she should have been more professional to say, look, you're out there trying as hard as you could. You clearly have no vested interest in screwing over Joan Jett and the Blackhearts. And she should have just handled it professionally and said, hey, good evening. It's great to see you. Are you guys having a good time? And don't forget, we're going to rock tonight with the greatest darn house band in all the land. Ladies and gentlemen, the Blackhearts, a 1, a 2, a 1, 2, 3, 4. How about that? See?
Yeah, that was amazing.
Well, do you think the bandmates also would have been pissed at her that they didn't get the props?
No, I think if she's covering it. I mean, look, if you are a I mean, can you name one member of the Blackhearts?
No.
Nor can anyone else. You're not of the level where people would
Right.
Like if you are,
they might have even changed over the years.
Yeah, I mean, there are certain bands where it's so and so and like Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. Like you can name people that are a part of it's a very famous backing band. Bob Seger and the Silver Bullet Band. Like that's
in the E Street Band.
The E Street Band.
Max Weinberg.
Exactly. Like so those are those people, not everybody, but people inside of that band have gone on to become either, late night television or television shows or whatever because of their affiliation. You cannot do that with the Blackhearts. Nobody knows a single solitary person in the Blackhearts outside of the Blackhearts and their immediate family. It's a known band because Joan Jett was very popular at one point, but they are not an integral part of the show itself.
Well, and she was on tour with Loverboy, and it's not like I went on and said, and now Mike Reno. So I wasn't doing it intentionally. But I will tell you that when Joan Jett says do it again, you do it again.
Yeah.
She seems kind of intimidating.
Yeah, I mean, like again, it's not Mike Campbell or Howie Epstein or
Are you naming people from the Blackhearts?
No, from the Heartbreakers, like Tom Petty, like people you would see and go, oh my gosh, that's such a named person. I would know who that dude is. It is not Steven Van Zandt or Nils Lofgren or Max Weinberg from the E Street Band. I just am amazed, and this I feel like is totally worthy of being the lead story that we talk about this hour. That is unbelievable that she big-timed you like that when she totally could have covered it herself and actually made it sound even better. So did you go out and are you like Garth in Wayne's World and you're like, I'm sorry, I've made a mistake.
No, I just try to play it off like I'm gonna get you. You weren't pumped up enough.
So let's
do it again.
Let's Zapruder film this.
Like we really want to be excited.
No, let's Zapruder film this in slow motion here, Casey, for our audience. So you're on stage and you say, "Ladies and gentlemen, Joan Jett."
Yeah.
You leave the stage.
Right.
Then instead of the band coming on stage, there's just what? Like nothing? Like no movement? So the crowd is cheering and there's no movement. And does Joan Jett grab you by the collar like in the movies?
No, she didn't grab me by the collar. I mean, she's petite.
Right.
But still, like,
but what did she say? Hey, Blondie.
Yeah, like you forgot my band. And I was like, oh, okay. And she go do it again.
Did she say, get your attractive ass back on stage and announce?
Do it again.
Okay, then how do you handle it? Do you say, ladies and gentlemen, I have made an egregious mistake?
No, I just went back and all right, here they come. They're coming out. It's Joan Jett
you didn't know.
And the Blackhearts.
Okay, all right.
That's a good recovery.
Yeah, that's
yeah,
fine.
like, just like, oh, you guys weren't excited. Yeah. I blamed it on the audience. How about that?
Wow. Where were we going with this segment?
We were going to be talking about Donald Trump.
Well, let's do it.
And foreign policy.
What's Trump doing?
All right. Here's what he said when he was in Iowa.
All over the planet, our enemies knew that one thing with us, that if you try to kill our citizens, we will kill you. We will kill you. And I hate to say that in front of the 100 great pastors and faith leaders and everybody that endorse. We have so many great people. But that's the way we're going to keep our country safe. It's, we have no choice. So faith leaders, I think they agree because they're smart and they understand. And we have to have, thank you, I have one of the 100 that definitely agrees. So that's good. There they are. They're going. That's good. But now we have to keep our country safe. And we do it not because we want to start wars. We do it because we want to stop wars. We want to prevent wars from happening. Remember Hillary? She said, he'll cause a war. He'll cause a war. Look at him. The way he talks, he'll cause a war. I say, no, the way I talk, I'll stop wars. I'm the only president in 72 years that didn't start a war. The only one.
Okay, so not only did Hillary say it, but Joe Biden said it in 2020. He said, the walls were going to close in on him, and he was worried that Trump was going to get us into a war with Iran specifically. And then Biden went on to say, unfortunately, I may be right about this. Well, look where we are today.
Kevin, how long does it take you to find the hate mail? How long do you need me to filibuster? Because we have to read this guy's comment in the YouTube chat because this is a real person.
Yeah, I'm pulling it up.
Okay, perfect. So you can watch us. You can watch Casey today on the YouTube chat. My camera is broke again. Weekend guy. I think I've narrowed it down to 2 people. It is very clear, let me say, not Terry Stacy nor the Home and Garden people broke my camera, so you can't actually.
I think it's just a faulty cable.
I do not think that, Kev. I think it just keeps happening because the host for the weekend sit right here, Kev, and it's always this camera. Don't defend these people. There is no defending what's taking place here. We were just having a very fun, lighthearted chat about.
Did that upset somebody?
Yes, we're just not allowed to have fun, Casey. We're not allowed to chuckle. We're not allowed to have any joy nor make people smile. We ourselves are not allowed to have fun. This is, are we ready? This was an actual comment from a guy in the YouTube chat about us having a fun, lighthearted, innocent conversation about Joan Jett and the Blackhearts. Sure. Are you ready?
Sure.
All right. Imagine being this person, Casey.
Yeah.
I'm 54. And back in the day, nobody gave a it. Except he didn't use the word it. Mm-hmm. He used the word we can't say.
Yeah.
So there's some profanity in here, too.
Okay.
Nobody gave an it about mentioning the Blackhearts. It wasn't a thing, millennial guy. Casey was around. And you weren't. So imagine what is going on in this guy's life that he is so enraged about us having fun with Joan Jett and the Blackhearts that not only does he need to be that mean, but he's going to throw some profanity in there too so that he knows.
That's a new name that I've never seen too.
Yeah.
He's sticking up for me. He gets it. Because it's true, we didn't say Joan Jett and the Blackhearts. We would say Joan Jett.
But I look, and again, you're more seasoned than I am. Mm-hmm. I have always
if I were to say, hey, who sings that song, I Love Rock and Roll?
Joan Jett and the Blackhearts.
See, we would have, Joan Jett would have been the answer.
And that's fine. There's no need for this sort of reaction. That is not the, sir, whatever your name is, if you could type into the YouTube chat, what do you need us to pray for you today? So that you have a better rest of your day, that having a fun, lighthearted conversation about Joan Jett and the Blackhearts does not enrage you to this point. We will be happy to do that for you.
We need to get to a break, but when we come back, because we're trying to smile through all the chaos that's going on in the world, we've got something funny that happened over the weekend. And also, I think we have we know what the Biden foreign policy is.
How exciting.
It's one word, and we're going to hear from our vice president coming up from 93 WIBC.
Tony Katz.
I alphabetized my soundboard. Well, I'm sorry, I didn't hear that. F?
Fat, drunk, and stupid is no way to go through life, son.
I have to go to S for Sopranos. Makes sense.
Yeah, I think you got it.
It's so clean now. It's fantastic. Yeah, we have clearly run out of things to talk about. There's nothing else going on in the world.
It's a great world, everything's so.
This show is stupid.
Tony Katz, mornings 6 to 9 on 93 WIBC and WIBC.com.
Fall in Indy, and if you hate painting year after year, do what your neighbor Edwina did. She called Rhino Shield.
Over the years, I had to touch up the house. I just got to the point where I couldn't spend any more money on the outside of the house. And when I saw Rhino Shield, I thought that was the answer to my problem.
And Rhino Shield's a ceramic coating. Better than paint.
I'd had painters here before, and it was usually quite a disaster with them leaving their equipment here. But Rhino Shield was right on it.
Here's a never-before offer, Indy. Act now before October 31st and get 25% 25% off the 25-year guaranteed protection of Rhino
The
Shield.
gentleman said, if you're interested, give me a call. And I said, honestly, can you come tomorrow?
Remember, Indy, this is a limited time offer, so act by Halloween to get 25% off the 25-year guaranteed protection of Rhino Shield. Here's owner Shane Smith.
This offer is limited, so call me at 888-RHINO-41. That's 888-RHINO-41.
Go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
At Simply Safe Home Security, your safety is the only thing that matters. That's why you get 24/7 professional monitoring for less than $1 a day, because every home deserves to be protected. Right now, get 45% off the whole home security system named the best of 2023 by U.S. News and World Report. Visit simplysafe.com/radio to save big today. Advanced Home Security, 24/7 professional monitoring for less than $1 a day. There's no safe like Simply Safe.
At America's Floor Source, you can save beautifully on Karastan flooring with the lowest prices of the season. Bring home the unmistakable quality of Karastan carpet or choose from Karastan's Luxcraft LVT and Bellux Elevated Wood collections, offering beautiful wood look flooring that is better than nature intended. Don't miss your chance to live beautifully and save beautifully with Karastan. Visit americasfloorsource.com for details.
Tis almost the season. Get head-to-toe holiday ready at JCPenney. Whether you're in party mode, out and about, or hanging out at home, we've got the style to get your family in the spirit, all in one place. Like the dress that makes every guest list, or that cute outfit that fits perfectly in Santa's lap. Don't forget the matching PJs, a festive weekend tradition. Your favorite brands are ready to mingle and be merry all season long. Looks that wow, all priced to impress. Make your holidays count. JCPenney.
Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors for Timberlake Kitchen and Bath Cabinets. Visit Drexel's new design center on 146th Street at River Road or on North Shadeland. DrexelIN.com.
It's the Kendall and Casey Show with Rob Kendall and Casey Daniels.
I thought you two see that you're in love with each other.
On 93 WIBC.
22 minutes after 11, it's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC. So over the weekend, Kamala Harris was on CBS, and I think what she has done is narrow down the Biden foreign policy into one word.
Oh.
And we've heard the word from the president, so just in case we're not clear, here's what it is.
To Iran.
Don't.
As President Biden said, just don't.
Exactly. One word. Pretty straightforward.
There it is. Did you get it?
I got it.
And that's easy for the president to remember.
Yeah.
Right? When you're just narrowing it down. Have you noticed that there's been a lot of talk, which sounds very similar to talk that happened after 9/11 in regards to Iran and Hamas and everything? Sounds very much like George W. Bush.
Well, it's an opportunity, clearly. I mean, this is a made-for moment for the politicians who have no hesitation whatsoever to send other people's kids to fight and die, and they've got many of them, and they are totally beholden to these very large corporations who make colossal amounts of money off U.S. involvement in foreign countries, and this is a made-for moment because they see, and rightfully so, large-scale support united behind Israel. And so if you can sell it to be whatever it is, whatever you need it to be for the American people to be behind it, then why wouldn't you go for it? Can we talk about how stupid Kamala Harris is for a second?
Sure.
Like, have you ever Casey, you were in management for a long time in radio,
Mm-hmm.
and no doubt you have met people who you have looked at that are either like on scale with you or maybe slightly ahead of you in these various corporate meetings, and you're just like, that person is an idiot.
Yeah.
And you sit there and you ponder, how did this person rise to this level?
Mm-hmm.
I think that every time I hear Kamala Harris, like, how you can only interpersonal relations your way so far in life. At some point, I mean, she was getting elected to the U.S. Senate. She was getting elected to, where she got at some point. What? Who looks at this and is like, this is acceptable for a person?
Well, I think that's the difference between politicians and the real world, because In our industry, for example, you have to get the ratings.
Yeah.
Right?
Uh-huh.
You have to be able to prove yourself.
Which is wild. I've lasted this long because I'm told nobody's listening.
In other jobs, you have to be able to prove profit.
Yeah.
Okay? What does she have to prove? How is she held accountable as a politician?
But why?
That was a really great policy.
But why, Casey? Why is, and this is the question that I will continue to ask, if you go to the local Taco Bell and someone screws up your order, there is a 10,000 word post on the Townie chatter board about how the local Taco Bell has agreed you in some shape, form, or fashion. And yet when it's politics and these politicians lie to us, or they're just complete morons, or they screw up our existence, people just go, well, that's just politics.
Yeah.
What? Why is the Taco Bell, why are we more passionate about the Taco Bell than we are the stuff that actually matters? Why? No one can provide a clear-cut answer to me on this topic.
Let's talk about the information that you just found out.
What?
Muncie.
Yes.
John Mellencamp.
What? You're not even going to answer this question? We're just going to get out of this?
Well,
it's a life-altering question?
It is a life-altering. What do you want me to say? Well, I mean, we had the guy in Martinsville who said that only 8% of people said that they were engaged in local politics because they were either too busy
That's a good
or
point.
they don't think they can affect change or they've given up. Malaise. I think it's a variety of reasons.
So we will not give up on the Taco Bell screwing up our order, but we will give up on the people who lord over us in society.
Well, do you think that you can affect change at the Taco Bell more or less than the federal government?
But it's all levels of government. There are people equally stupid to Kamala Harris in central Indiana who make decisions over people at a local, at a city level, at a town level, at a county level.
Right. But if you call the corporate hotline for Taco Bell, they might at least offer you a free burrito next time.
Yeah.
What's the federal government going to do?
That's a good point.
We're going to offer you no property taxes next year. They're not going to do that.
That's a great point. Yes, big news. John Mellencamp has announced he is kicking off. I guess it's not a new tour. I think it's an extension of the current tour that he just wrapped up.
He's going to be in Muncie.
And he's going to be in Muncie on, let's see, what day is this? March the 22nd. I feel like we could do a Muncie trip.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, I have a connection to Mellencamp. Like, I'm going to tell you how important I am here.
Mm-hmm.
My dear friend Troy Kennett, who is the greatest keyboard player in all the land, local legend, is the keyboard player for John Mellencamp. And so we could go. Now, I have posted on Troy's page, because he posted this up, that this is happening. At every event I go see Troy at, like we'll go see him at the Rathskeller or various other local places he plays, I will very loudly shout, "We love Troy," at the end of every song in an attempt to get him to smile and embarrass him. And so I asked, I said, if I go to the Mellencamp show and I keep shouting, "We love Troy," am I going to get kicked out for being too pro Troy when everybody, of course, Mellencamp is the star?
Is there to see Mellencamp.
That's the last thing I want to do is cause any controversy at the Mellencamp concert.
Of course not. Did you notice how many times they played a Mellencamp song at the Colts game
Oh my
yesterday
gosh.
in the
Wow.
in the Lucas Oil? It was like there were four or five.
Oh yeah,
all of it.
Yeah, no Henry Lee Summer though. We gotta get on that person.
It's 11:28. It's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC. Good morning.
When you hear the name Jefferson Shreve, what do you think of? A candidate for mayor? Sure, he's that. But he's also an original supporter of Donald Trump. Jefferson Shreve has been with Trump from the very beginning, even despite Trump lying over 30,000 times, being accused of sexually assaulting 21 women. And Jefferson Shreve never condemned January 6th. Shreve even donated thousands of dollars to Trump's election deniers. It's bad enough that Jefferson Shreve got an A rating from the NRA and wants to ban abortion. But Jefferson Shreve and Donald Trump? That's a combination that's bad for Indianapolis.
This is Joe Hogshead, and I'm asking for your vote so we can continue hiring more police, get guns off the street, and invest in programs that keep kids out of trouble. We've overcome a lot in these last few years. I'm grateful for your support so we can get the job done.
Paid for by Hogshead for Indianapolis.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
The fighting ramps up I'm Kurt Darling. Here's what's trending at 11:30. The situation getting worse for those living in Gaza as Israel's operation against Hamas intensifies.
Those Israeli forces operating on the eastern and western side of Gaza, pushing deeper into the Strip. There is extensive damage to the entire Gaza Strip. A humanitarian disaster is quickly developing for the more than 2 million Palestinian civilians that live there. New video shows Palestinians raiding a UN warehouse in Gaza, trying to get any food and supplies they could get their hands on.
Fox's Trey Yingst. The UAW strike is over. The union and General Motors coming to a tentative deal. That after the union did the same with Stellantis and Ford last week and over the weekend. The deal ends a 6-week-long holdout by thousands of workers. I'm Kurt Darling, on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Texting enrolls for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stop, opts out.
Binges, blackouts, regret, shame, trying and failing to drink less or quit. Hi, I'm Jonathan, founder of Or Health. I know how scary drinking too much can be because I struggled with alcohol misuse for most of my adult life. But I also know that it is possible to drink less or quit. And medication can help. Naltrexone is a safe, effective medication that makes it easier to cut back or quit drinking, so you don't have to rely on willpower alone. I started Or Health to make access to naltrexone convenient and private, to help people like me regain control over alcohol.
If you're ready to stop drinking or just drink less, text REGAIN to 323232 to get a secure link to Or Health's private online assessment. Our licensed medical professionals will evaluate your assessment, and if medication is right for you, prescribe it online. We'll deliver your prescription right to your door. No doctor's office visits required. Text the word REGAIN to 323232 to get started today. That's REGAIN to 323232.
What is 988? It's a way forward. It's a listening ear. It's whatever help you need when you need it. The 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline offers trained crisis specialists ready to talk to you 24/7. If you or someone you love is experiencing a mental health or substance use crisis in their life, call or text 988. Want more information? Visit 988indiana.org.
Every year, millions of people find a health plan at healthcare.gov during open enrollment. They enjoy more doctor visits, pick up prescriptions, and find the care they need. With the new law, 4 out of 5 customers can find a plan for $10 a month or less with financial help. Enroll by December 15th for coverage starting January 1st. Healthcare.gov is here for millions like you, paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Hi, this is Beth Robazzini. Nominate a veteran for a free water heater and you may win one too. Just go to veteransdaygiveaway.com. Sponsored by B&W Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
You're listening to the Kendall and Casey Show on 93 WIBC.
11:33. It's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC. Don't know if you caught it, but the former White House press secretary, Jen Psaki, she is not a fan of the new Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson.
Oh, well, yeah, he's very Christian and very, seems like a very decent human, so I can imagine she would not be a fan of that.
Yeah, she said that he's a religious fundamentalist.
I got it right. I didn't even know what you were going to say. Did I call it or did I call it?
She said, first glance, he does seem fine-ish, conservative, yes. And then she went on to say, I mean, you know, if nothing else, he wears a suit and has glasses. How threatening can he be?
Sounds like the description after many first dates that I went on. How's it start? On first glance, he seems fine-ish.
Fine-ish. How bad could it be?
What was the first part of that direct quote? Because I'm certain I heard that numerous times.
First glance, Mike Johnson does seem fine-ish, conservative, yes. But he wears a suit and glasses, so how threatening can he be?
How threatening can he be? Famous last words of the people who got in the car with Bundy, right?
Yeah. So Mike Johnson, he's been doing a lot of the talk shows. He was on with Maria Bartiromo.
Yeah.
And
Bartoloma Roma. That's instead of Kloppenstein, it's Bartoloma Roma. That's our new name for her.
So
Bartoloma Roma.
He was asked about Hunter Biden and if he will subpoena Hunter Biden.
Are you expecting to subpoena Hunter Biden?
I'm looking at that. I think that desperate times call for desperate measures, and that perhaps is overdue. We've not made a full decision yet. I'm counseling with the attorneys involved on all of this to see what the contours of. I'm an attorney myself, so I speak the language. We're trying to move forward on some of this very aggressively. I think the American people are owed these answers, and I think our suspicions about all this, the evidence that we've gathered so far, as you know, is affirming what many of us feared may be the worst. And as Jamie Comer likes to say, bank records don't lie. We already have a lot of this evidence. The dots are being connected, and we'll see where it leads.
So the entire time that we were without a Speaker of the House, Comer continued on with his investigation. And now he's hemming and hawing, though, about if they're going to subpoena Hunter Biden. And it just makes you wonder, is this guy going to be constipated with this issue as well?
Well, you've got to, when you're a leader, you've got to decide the agenda. And one of the problems with these politicians is they placate to the media too much. They let the media drive the agenda. You've got to, as a politician, the successful people are people who walk in and say, I was elected to do X, I'm doing X. And if you don't like it, there's an upcoming election where you can weigh in on whether you liked X being done. Too many of these guys get all caught up in what the media's opinion on this, how the stories get written, and they don't follow through on the things they promise to do for the people.
Okay, so some people, conservatives, MAGA members, already getting a little bit upset with Mike Johnson because of his plan to deliver billions of dollars in aid to Israel.
Well, and so this becomes the question for Mike Johnson. And we talked about, I'm not weighing in good, bad, or indifferent on this guy until I see what he does, because too many of these people promise one thing, Kevin McCarthy, get elected, and do the opposite. If you're going to continue to throw billions of dollars at all of this stuff, how do you plan on getting inflation under control? The two things do not compute. What's the offset? Okay, you're going to take, let's say it's $3 billion in extra aid for Israel. I'm just picking a number. I have no idea if that's the number or anywhere close. Well, where's your offset? What $3 billion are you going to cut in order to give Israel the $3 billion? That doesn't look like that's a conversation they're going to have. They're just going to throw the money, which is the printed money, which is the deficit, which is the debt, which is the inflation. So to me, if you're just going to keep doing this, who cares who's in there? Same guys. They're all the same.
It's a new boss, same as the old boss.
Yep.
Well, he was asked, is he going to send money to Israel?
As soon as I took the gavel, our work began, and we passed the resolution, as you noted, in strong support of our strong ally and great friend Israel. We had to do that. And then I flew last night to Las Vegas and spoke to the Republican Jewish Coalition, as you noted, to send a further signal that this isn't a priority for our country, and we cannot allow the brutality and the just unspeakable evil that is happening against Israel right now to continue. We're going to stand with our friends.
Oh, okay. You throwing money at stuff is not prioritizing. You simply throwing money at something is abusing the taxpayer. See, all these politicians act like they're doing something great or noble or whatever. Well, we're pledging to spend. No, you're pledging to print. You're not saying, hey, this is a priority and we're going to cut, $3 billion from Medicare or Medicaid, or you see what I'm saying? Like there's never, or from the military, we're going to take money that we're going to spend over here for Ukraine, and we're going to pull. None of that is coming from the Republicans. It's always like they want some sort of award because, well, I flew to Las Vegas and gave a meaningless speech. That doesn't mean anything. Your speech that you gave to the Jewish Coalition doesn't help at all. Your actions are what matter. That's it. Period. End of story. And these stupid, worthless resolutions also don't change anything. You stand with Israel. Great, fine. Good for you. Most people support you. But simply throwing money at them doesn't make our situation here at home any better either. And you never get the offsets with these people. It's just how much money can they throw at something, and then we threw the money at it, and look at us, look at what we did.
Well, the U.S. has spent the last 70 years being the world's police force, and in that time, we've stayed out of World War III. And what would happen if the U.S. steps back? I mean, I don't want unnecessary wars, but at the same time, we have to know what's going on, and we can't ignore it either. So it's...
What we are doing is not working. Our foreign policy is not working.
Well, clearly don't. Don't. You mean don't? Our foreign policy of don't?
look, our country is run by people who do not have the intestinal fortitude to make the proper decisions, the hard decisions necessary to fiscally get this country back on track. And until you get your fiscal footing back on track and stabilize this country's economics, then this other stuff is going to mean anything, because when your money stops meaning something, everything stops meaning something.
It's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
Okay, now you say bottom lovers.
Coming up on Tony Katz today, the war in Israel has broken out on college campuses across America. That's happening after the news at noon on 93 WIBC.
Who can Carmel trust to keep our city thriving? Sue Finkham is the only one with the plan and experience to do it. Finkham has spent her career growing businesses and advocating for people. And her plan to keep Carmel thriving is simple. Prioritize public safety by hiring, training, and equipping our first responders. Introduce responsible budgeting so every cent spent benefits us. Support local businesses and ensure responsible development that doesn't endanger our community's one-of-a-kind character. Sue Finkham has the plan for Carmel's success. But what about Miles Nelson? What does Nelson care about, and where do his priorities lie? When asked what he has done on the city council to support Carmel police,
I'm really proud of spearheading a resolution to get Carmel carbon neutral by the year 2050.
Support the candidate with the plan to ensure Carmel's safety and continued success. On November 7th, vote Sue Finkham for mayor.
Paid for by Sue Finkham Victory Committee.
I'm getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20.
So am I, because I'm at risk for pneumococcal pneumonia.
If you're 19 or older with chronic conditions like asthma, diabetes, COPD, or heart disease, or are 65 or older, you are at increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about Prevnar 20, pneumococcal 20-valent conjugate vaccine. It can help protect you against pneumococcal pneumonia in just one dose. Even if you've already been vaccinated with other pneumonia vaccines, Prevnar 20 may help provide added protection. Prevnar 20 is approved for adults to help prevent infections from 20 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia. Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you've had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. Adults with weakened immune systems may have a lower response to the vaccine. Side effects include pain and swelling at the injection site, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138 or visit Prevnar20.com.
Looking for a beautiful and functional upgrade to your home this holiday? 3 Day Blinds has you covered. But hurry, most blinds and shades ordered by November 8th can be installed by Thanksgiving. At 3 Day Blinds, our free in-home design consultation makes it easy. A 3 Day Blinds design expert will help you find the window treatment solution that works best for your home's needs and style. We bring the showroom to you with loads of samples, giving you an idea of how different fabrics look in your home. Your designer also provides expert measurements and helps coordinate installation. Book your free in-home consultation by visiting 3dayblinds.com. You'll even find window treatments with Motorized by 3 Day Blinds. Whether you're at home or on vacation, you can operate your window treatments with the touch of a button using the 3 Day Blinds app. 3 Day Blinds is here to solve your window treatment needs for the holidays. But hurry, most blinds and shades ordered by November 8th can be installed by Thanksgiving. For your free custom same-day quote, schedule your free in-home design consultation now at 3dayblinds.com. That's 3dayblinds.com.
Hammer and Nigel here. When it comes to health, there are numbers every man needs to know, including your testosterone number. We recommend Low T Center. They make it quick and easy to get your levels checked, and it's only $25. Walk in, take a simple blood test, and you'll know results in about 25 minutes.
Low T can make you feel tired and grumpy. It can cause lack of motivation and drive. It can raise cholesterol, cause weight gain, loss of muscle mass. LowTCenter.com. Book online right now. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
Is your Generac home standby generator overdue for annual maintenance or an oil change? Schedule an inspection with a certified tech at Generator Supercenter to ensure your Generac generator is ready when you need it most. GeneratorSupercenter.com.
I'd rather be folding laundry.
This is gonna be fun.
Said no one ever. Also, no one enjoys wasting time in traffic. That's why we love saving you time. Matt Baer Traffic.
Backups are already starting.
On 93 WIBC.
Johnny works in a
WIBC, it is the Kendall and Casey show. Rob, I don't know if you saw this article. The first humanoid robot factory in the U.S. is ready to crank out some robots.
Wait.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, there were a bunch of words there, and I think those words made sense together, but maybe just one more time you could say that again.
The first humanoid robot factory in the country.
How could absolutely anything go wrong with this?
Yeah, they're ready to crank out 10,000 robots a year.
Oh.
When I think of this, the Will Smith movie I, Robot comes to mind.
Yeah.
And didn't they all turn against the humans in that movie?
Well, can you ever think of a movie, Casey, where there were mass amounts of robots that didn't turn against the humans?
Where it worked out good for the people?
But seriously, Terminator, iRobot, pick your favorite. There's a large amount of robots in this movie film. Did it end well for humanity?
No, it did not. So how do we feel about this? I mean, is this robot going to sweep my floor or is it going to sweep my legs?
Well, okay, so this is my thing with there are people who have the robot that sweeps it's like a little circular thing.
Yeah, the Roomba.
Do you have one of those?
No.
Okay. My house is not nearly big enough that I can't just get a broom out.
Right.
And just sweep it up.
You don't need something that's hooked up to the GPS.
Apparently, there's also one of these things that will cut the grass for you. Have you heard about this?
Really?
It's like the same thing. It's like you hook it up and it'll cut the grass for you. Yes, my wife's grandparents have one of these. And it's on it's like an electric fence or whatever. It knows where to go. And
yeah.
And I think it's got its own thing set up where it'll every 3 or 4 days just on its own, just putter along and just do the yard.
Isn't that amazing? That's got to be like those things that are at Purdue.
Well,
those little robot delivery systems.
It scares the hell out of me.
Yeah.
So there's so many layers by which this is bad. The first, of course, being that as these robots become more and more diverse in the things that they can do, it's just another area where you won't need a human, which means there's another area for which you will not need employment.
Well, I'm wondering at what point are we going to have so many robots running around that then we're going to have to consider robots' rights?
Oh, that's a great point.
And robot diversity.
You're right, yes.
You know?
Okay.
Are robots going to demand pronouns?
I have a question for you because I don't know anything about the robots other than they scare the hell out of me. Someone has to program the robot, right?
Yeah.
So ultimately, there's still human involvement in the robot, right?
Until AI gets intertwined with it and they become smart enough to program themselves.
I didn't even think about that.
Because aren't we heading in that direction already?
And didn't we largely, in many ways, do this to ourselves based on the McDonald's guy who demanded $15 an hour?
Right.
Because didn't McDonald's say, oh, that's cute, we now have a kiosk that demands $0 an hour?
Well, and then there's the robots that are at the Amazon warehouses that help stack boxes and carry boxes.
Oh, yeah.
And automation on the car assembly line. And I think the one area that robots could potentially help humanity, and that is with healthcare. If they can help with some surgeries and be very precise, that would be good, right?
Would you turn, your husband just had fairly major surgery.
Yeah.
Would you have turned his surgery over to a robot? Here, Tommy the robot. What is this, the Jetsons?
Right. That would scare...
Would you let Rosie have done your husband's surgery?
No, not at all. I didn't want a human to do it. But, I mean, at least if something goes wrong, you can go to the human and say, hey, what's up?
Yeah.
But with the robot, what? I mean, I guess that would get rid of any sort of litigation or malpractice suits against a human. Because what are you going to do? Sue a robot?
This sounds like a terrible idea to me. And what is this place called?
It's called Agility Robotics.
And that also sounds even worse.
But get this, they plan on having all of these humanoids ready by 2025.
Oh, how exciting.
So in 2.5 years.
How long will it be before there's a robot who can do a radio talk show?
They already are.
What?
Well, I mean, the AI.
They're not doing talk shows, though. They're doing like the
music intros.
They're doing like liners for music stations. They can't do what we do yet.
But I think that probably is coming. Just program that in. Hey, Mike Pence dropped out of the presidential race. Talk about that for a minute. I mean, you can already do that with AI. You can kick out an article. Of course, it won't have quite the opinion that you do.
Do you ever get the spam calls from artificial intelligence?
Sometimes.
Where you
I get the text
more
than the calls.
So you will get you get spam calls, and then if they leave a voicemail, you can tell it's clearly artificial intelligence. Hey, this is Susie, and I'm just calling you about your whatever credit that you're entitled to. I can tell the difference on that, and I can tell the difference on artificial intelligence images, as we've talked about.
Yeah.
But it's getting better. It's getting harder and harder to do it.
I am starting to struggle if it's AI or if it's, it's a deep fake.
Yeah.
Like I saw one with Ron DeSantis the other day, and I couldn't tell if it was a fake or if it was real.
You know what's interesting is when Pence, did you know Pence dropped out?
I heard that.
That's
yes,
just terrible.
I did. I
think we already talked about that on our show. It's
we did.
terrible. But when he made the video, Hammer and Nigel and I have the little group thread, and one of them, I can't remember who it was. I think it was Nigel, said, I saw this video, and my initial thought was that has to be a deep fake.
Right. It's hard to tell.
That's where you're at now.
Yeah, sometimes you got to double check all this stuff. That's the direction we're headed in. Okay, there's this other story why Gen Z is moving to the Great Plains and the Mountain West. And this survey was done, and they conducted a poll of all of the states that Gen Zs are moving to.
Yeah.
Indiana is 10th on the list.
Oh, wow.
And that is because the younger generation wants the wide open spaces.
What wide open space is left here? They're tearing it all down and building high-density housing development.
Yeah, this is true. Eventually, they're going to take up all the space in farmland, aren't they?
Well, and this is another example of people who want to flee something, but then they want to make the place they've gone to like the place they fled. I don't want the Gen Z people. I don't want you. I'm just fine the way it is.
Yeah, you don't want them in their silly little politics, campus protesting minds, do you?
You keep your high-density housing developments to yourself there, Gen Z. I'll be just fine right where I'm at.
Okay, well, you're a millennial, and they say that the reason that Gen Z is different from millennials is because the millennials gravitated towards big cities. They want the big city life, like DC and Chicago, not the hills and open spaces of Idaho and Nebraska and the Dakotas.
Well, I think a big part of this is, and we've talked about this before, like with, say, college, how my generation and then maybe the generation before the Gen Xers as well, it was ingrained in your mind you have to go to college.
Right.
You have to have a four-year college degree. If you don't have this, you're going to be a failure. And even if you aren't a failure in your terms of ability to provide for yourself and your family, you're going to be a failure in perception. And so a lot of people who didn't need four-year degrees wasted all sorts of time and resources and money and are in debt to this day getting those four-year degrees. I think the same thing is true here, in which my generation was, and if you look at Indiana's a great example, the population shift in the state of Indiana. Population hasn't so much grown as it's shifted to where essentially 8 or 9 counties have the overwhelming majority of the population in the state of Indiana. That's because you were told, hey, rural high school guy, you're going to be a complete zero unless you get to the big city or the big suburb.
Yeah. Well, now these people are looking for the rural area.
Great.
This article also mentioned one other thing that I wanted to share with you. The average down payment that a Gen Z will do on a home in these wide open spaces, $30,000. Does that sound about right to you?
Well, so it depends on what you want to do. I had a conversation with a realtor over the weekend about this, and it is amazing how little people are putting on a down payment in terms of being able to get back into homes. Because remember, for a while, this is kind of what caused the housing collapse of 2008. One of numerous things was people were getting in these houses with very little down payment. My thing is, I think we should have a thing where if you can't put 20% down, you shouldn't be buying a home.
So the average down payment for a home in San Francisco, this is exclusively for San Francisco, $66,000.
Oh, yeah.
So twice as much as other areas.
But that's
in the
also
country.
not that much for what a home costs in San Francisco.
That's true. That could be like 1%.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Or half a percent.
There's no doubt that a home in San Francisco is going to cost you 3, 4, 5 times more than what you're paying here in Indiana.
All right. One last little nugget before we get out of here. 2 Indiana cities were ranked by Orkin as
that's the bug people.
Yeah, the pest people.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So these two Indiana cities were ranked as top 50 rattiest cities in the U.S. So apparently we've got some rat problems.
Oh, yeah.
I bet you can guess the two cities if you think about it.
Okay, let's see. I'm going to go with Gary.
You're close.
Oh.
You're very close. It is a northern town.
Oh, which one is it?
South Bend.
Oh, okay. Very close.
Bad things always seem to come out of South Bend, right?
But Gary's not on the list.
No, Gary's not on the
exciting.
list. The other city is, of course, Indianapolis.
Okay, very good, yes.
All right, that's going to do it for us today. Thank you, Rob. Thank you, Kevin. And thank you for listening. Have a great afternoon. We'll catch you back here tomorrow. It's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
Have you saved enough? Do you have a plan for Social Security and taxes in retirement? Hey, Casey Weed of Howard Bailey Financial, where our mission is to help you gain clarity and purpose and elevate meaning in your life through personal and practical financial strategies. That's why we want to give you our Retire with Purpose Toolkit at no cost. In it, you'll find valuable information on minimizing taxes, maximizing Social Security, and building a retirement income you can't outlive. Plus, you'll receive a copy of my book, Job Optional. To get your complimentary toolkit, call or text the keyword INFO 42 to 866-482-9559. That's INFO 42 to 866-482-9559.
Howard Bailey Financial is the official wealth management partner of Notre Dame Athletics. Notre Dame Athletics was compensated for this endorsement and is not a current client of Howard Bailey. For more information, please visit howardbailey.com/ND disclosure. Investment advisory services may be offered through Howard Bailey Securities LLC, a registered investment advisor. Working with Howard Bailey Securities LLC cannot guarantee investment success or that specific financial goals will be achieved.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So, while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. Just go to this exclusive web address, ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Hey, this is Spencer Thompson at Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus. It's our 96th anniversary and we're having a sale. Save 50% off Lazy Boy and Smith Brothers, plus 3 years interest-free financing or an extra 10% off for cash. Get a free Yeti cooler or Solo stove with a Tempur-Pedic purchase and up to 4 years interest-free financing on Tempur-Pedic. It's our 96th anniversary sale only at Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus, now through Monday.
Tiffany absolutely hated her job.
I was living paycheck to paycheck on a dead-end job that I did not like.
She'd been considering a change with My Computer Career.
I was able to qualify for financial aid.
Just 2 nights a week in a classroom and studying from anywhere online opened up a whole new world to her.
I get job offers all the time. IT is practically recession-proof.
Become an IT pro in just months with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu.
I highly recommend My Computer Career.
It's not rocket science. It's mycomputercareer.edu. This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
After a big dinner, my nighttime heartburn would keep me up. I'd be taking antacid after antacid all night long. But then I tried Prilosec OTC. Just 1 pill a day blocks my frequent heartburn for a full 24 hours, giving me one-and-done heartburn relief. Without heartburn keeping me up, I could have a restful night's sleep.
Prilosec OTC. 1 pill a day, 24 hours, 0 heartburn.
It's possible while taking Prilosec OTC. Use as directed for 14 days to treat frequent heartburn, not for immediate relief.
Tune in Saturdays 9 to 1 for the Home and Garden Show for advice and fun. Brought to you by Michaelis. Water, storms, fire, and wet basements. Life happens. Michaelis happens to help you through it.
Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors for Timberlake Kitchen and Bath Cabinets. Visit Drexel's new design center on 146th Street at River Road or on North Shadeland. DrexelIN.com.
On the level, on the go. 93 WIBC Indianapolis.
Coming up.
Making them delinquent
partly because they didn't get their bills on time.
To fix this revolving door of criminal justice, the reputation of Israel is one of an innovative, entrepreneurial.
There's about a 30% chance.
This is the WIBC News at noon.
The United Auto Workers strike is over.
A mostly cloudy sky with temperatures staying in the 40s today. I'm Ryan Hedrick.
And I'm John Herrick. Here's what's trending at 12 noon. The union reached a tentative deal with General Motors that puts an end to negotiations after the strike began more than 6 weeks ago. GM is the last of Detroit's big three automakers to reach a deal after the UAW did come to an agreement with Stellantis over the weekend and with Ford last week.